And welcome to this live balance data slate and points update. I'm Stephen, I'm joined with Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Oh, good, thank you. Ready to delve into the balance of 40k.
Now, the most important thing from this video is we hope to give you a bit of an idea of the importance of why this needed to happen so importantly, and essentially the long-term effect this is going to have on the game of Warhammer 40,000, mostly I would say for the competitive series and scene. You know, if you're playing other types of games, whether it's like Crusade or Combat Patrol or more narrative-based games, then you might take some of this into consideration, but obviously use that with your opponent's agreement to make sure you're still getting the most from the games that you want. But on the whole, I really feel like this is something that was desperately needed, and Games Workshop certainly needed to act quickly, swiftly, and also be on the money with it.
Yes, yeah, I have to agree. So just before we delve into the balance data slate, Steve, what do you think balance means? When we talk about balance, what do we mean?
So there's two types of balance. There's internal balance within a book, or within an army. And internal balance means that everything should be an option. We don't really want a case where certain units are auto takes and we have other units that are never takes, because it becomes really polarizing. We end up in a situation where all army lists look exactly the same and there's no real variety. We want to see armies that play and feel like they should in the lore and that we're used to in terms of the IP that Games Workshop have made. You know, we want certain armies to be melee experts, others to be ranged experts, and we also want some armies to be super fast, some a little bit more durable, and so on and so forth, to make sure that they really do fit and feel the flavor of their army. But then you've got balance in respect to the game state. And this is where it allows all of those strengths and weaknesses of all those different types of armies to come together in a place where every single player, no matter what faction they have, has a good opportunity to compete at the table. And now, competing doesn't necessarily mean winning. Competing means to be able to give you a good game. Now, in regards to what we've just said, because there are different archetypes, of course there's always going to be a matchup that is slightly more favourable one way or another, because of that exact different types of, whether it's a specific mission that works really well with mobile armies versus slower ones, or you know, you might end up in a situation where some armies are very good against combat armies, but slightly weaker against shooting armies. Now, providing that balance isn't something that's too skew in regards to making it completely unplayable. We want to make sure it's still playable, but that's where the skill level of the players can come into effect. And hopefully, a great player could outplay potentially a slightly bad matchup. But the state, I believe, and I think we were in before this, in obviously Games Workshop, who had an incredible job at essentially redoing every single unit in the game to give it a rule, which has never really been done before. A complete overhaul of absolutely everything. We ended up in a state, and I think it's no surprise, where we had some armies that were extremely competitive and extremely efficient, and others not quite. And to quote Matt Laura, one of our absolute legend players, he was like, some armies feel like they're fighting with sticks and stones and others have got nuclear warheads. And I think that was to some extent a really good strapline for the competitive scene during the first initial stage of 10th edition. But this is why overall balance is so important. I don't want to feel like I'm fighting with sticks and stones, but I also don't want to feel like I've got nuclear warheads. You know, I want somewhere in between. I want a chainsword to feel like a chainsword. I want a las cannon to do the work I'm expecting it to do. And what we don't want is just certain game mechanics to be a band-aid over certain elements, or something that you just spam and take repeatedly to abuse a certain type of rule. So I think that's, in my mind, where we're currently at. But do you think I've missed anything?
No, excellently said, I think. Very nice. So I guess we've got to also look now at how we measure balance. Okay, so what are the parameters for whether something is balanced or not? We know Games Workshop use, what's it called, a meta watch?
They have their meta watch and they use basically a faction win rate.
Okay.
So how this works is, and you can see here from the graph of the last most accurate one, data from the 8th of August, you're looking at a different win rate based on that faction. And what they do is they look at all the different tournaments and whether they won or lost. Okay, so for example, Aeldari at a 67% win rate versus Leagues of Votann on a 35% win rate.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you've also got, so then there's a massive disparity there.
Yeah.
There is an issue with this. And the issue that I think we need to look beyond just the win rate.
Yeah.
Of course, this gives us a snapshot, and it should just be taken as that. But with any points of data, you also need to look qualitatively. The fact that people can jump from one faction to the next is a huge issue with this.
Yeah.
Because if you are looking to go to a tournament and there's different mindsets, I think us here at VT, we want to be able to compete with our favourite factions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's true for all of us here. We all want to do that. Jordan, who's on the commentary right now, he loves his Blood Angels.
He certainly does, yeah.
I love my Blood Angels as well, my World Eaters, those kind of combat-based armies.
Yeah.
And yourself, you like your Tyranids, your Chaos Space
Exactly,
Marines.
I love a challenge.
Yeah.
And that's what the game is to us.
Yeah. Last year I played Aeldari all season. I haven't touched them with a barge pole this one.
Good.
And I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go to the table with that element being in place. So here's the issue with it. Now, when you've got players that just want to win tournaments, what they're going to do is gravitate towards those armies. Now, there's not always the case, but you'll often find the better players that are constantly going to tournaments have more experience, they're more well-versed in the tournament scene, and they therefore will take more cutting-edge lists.
Yeah.
So they will all gravitate towards a higher performing faction, because why wouldn't you? Yeah, if your goal is to try and win a tournament, of course you're going to do that. So therefore we've got a player base that notoriously has a higher win rate regardless of whatever faction they play, now all playing one particular faction. So that is going to skew the data. Because also those other factions, like let's say Leagues of Votann, those players that used to play those factions last year have moved away from them.
Yeah.
Because they're as you can see from the index, maybe they're not as strong as others, and therefore the Leagues of Votann players are losing maybe a top caliber percentage of their player base because they're moving to different factions. It's not like in other sports where you're typically, assigned to a team for a season, and then those data points become a little bit more rigid, with obviously the ability to meta chase, I suppose. So therefore, what we need to do is look qualitatively at the lists that are winning tournaments, and what we probably should do, in my opinion, for win rates, is remove the top 10% of every single tournament and also remove the bottom 10%. So you're removing the two extremes.
Yeah.
You're removing the player base that just want to take their favourite army in the most lore-based themed ever, but they've got no regard of the mission. And I've certainly played against those opponents. And I've had awesome games, don't get me wrong. This is not a criticism whatsoever when they're saying, look, this is my army, I just want to see what it can do.
Yeah.
But they're not coming with the same, I suppose, way to compete as other players in the tournament. Vice versa, that top 10% that will jump from one faction to the next to try and take the most efficient. If we remove those from the data pool, then actually I think these may even out slightly.
Yeah.
But that's what we've got so far. Of course, if people had to stick to factions, that would help it even greater. But there we're at, and hopefully the balanced data slate, even with these numbers, will hopefully help. So we've got the balanced data slate out today, and the link is below. And thank you, Games Workshop, for sending obviously this preview content for us. We've also got the points. So we're going to break down each and every faction. Cool. But before we do that, we should probably go over the balanced data slate that changes all the rules in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So where are we going to start first, Michael? Oh, so Jordan's got his hands up.
Before we actually move on, we have had a couple of super chats. So the first one is from DeathGuard Dave. He said, thanks for giving the insight into a huge volume of changes and making it consumable for the community. Thank you, mate.
Thank you,
we really appreciate
Dave.
that.
Hopefully this live stream's a little bit better than last night's, because we had a nightmare. Yeah.
Well, it's running nice and smoothly right now, mate. So, and then we've had a CAK is also super chatted saying, how about them Death Guard? Well, I'm sure we're going to run through the Death Guard at some point. But yeah. Nice. All right. Well, that's everything for us, mate.
Okay. So awesome. Thank you for your super chat. If you have a super chat, we'll stop the stream and get those answered for you directly. Get obviously mine and Michael's input on that to maybe some of the reasons why we think some of these things have changed. And yeah. So the balanced data slate first shows. let's have a kind of go over some of the general changes. Where are we at first?
So these affect everybody.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to look first at devastating wounds.
Okay.
This has changed. So on a critical wound, your opponent cannot take any saves of any kind against that wound.
Right. So now this means it is not a mortal wound. Okay?
Cool.
So if you have a feel no pain, that will work against this, because a feel no pain isn't a save. But a feel no pain explicitly against mortal wounds won't work.
Right. So like Custodes have an army-wide 4+ feel no pain against mortal wounds.
Yeah.
A devastating wounds weapon, they wouldn't get any of that against that.
No. So if a vehicle explodes nearby and you're taking some mortal wounds, you can hopefully shrug those off.
Cool.
But against a devastating wound, you won't be able to.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. However, here's the big thing. You might be thinking as a Custode player, well, that's rubbish because I don't get my army save anymore. But the damage doesn't spill over to the next model.
No.
So in your unit now, you will not lose multiple models in a unit because of a devastating wound attack that is multiple damage. Devastating wounds I always felt was completely fine with models that did 1 damage.
Yeah, it was kind of like the old do a mortal wound on each 6 to wound, right?
Yeah. Like, for example, your striking scorpions, on a roll of a 6, they do a devastating wound.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely fine. Because although the mortal wounds carry over, as does single damage.
Yeah.
So it's completely okay. The issue was with something like the Wraith Knight, where it did multiple amounts of wounds, and therefore, if it got lucky, or they had a fate dice to put in for a critical wound of a 6, could annihilate an entire 10 lady unit of Sisters of Battle, for example, through 1 shot. And the Wraith, we want to make sure in the game that this is something that we constantly try and do, is we try and make the game fit and feel like how it should. So the Wraith Cannon should be a really great weapon against monsters and vehicles.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it was just great against everything. It was great against Custodial Elite Infantry, it was great against Horde units, it was great against vehicles and monsters, and you name it, it was just good.
Yeah.
Which is a problem, because we want to make sure that players are in a situation where, I suppose, you need to have a consideration of your list, you need a tool in your toolbox to deal with certain challenges, and this is something that we constantly talk about on our academy, is actually how to write an army list. And this is great because what this allows us to do is really help players ensure that their army list is well versed and balanced to be able to fight many different foes.
Yeah.
You don't want, like, I just got this 1 gun, but I've got it 1,000,000 times, and you just die no matter what.
Yeah.
That's just not cool.
Which is what it was with the Wraith Knight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So to sum up devastating wounds, it's not mortals anymore, the damage doesn't carry over.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So your hordes can't die from these devastating damage weapons.
Yeah.
You won't get your mortal wound save against it. And armies that really heavily had a lot of devastating wounds are now going to be a bit less effective.
Yeah. I actually think it's a slight increase. It's slightly better for those for devastating wounds that were single damage.
Yeah.
Because so for example, like we said, the striking scorpions, before, as a custody that had a feel no pain against mortals, they're not going to get that now. Yeah. So that slightly balances it out, because a lot of combat armies have the extra, the sort of 6 does a devastating, so it actually helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it brings down the lethality of the high damage weapons.
Yeah.
But feel no pain still work. Sorry for the...
Games Workshop's pulled up.
Yeah. A Land Rover just decided to... A Land Raider, we'll come on to Land Raiders later.
We have the doors open, it's incredibly hot still.
Yeah, so towering.
Right.
How has it changed with towering units? So this is affecting our knights and things like that.
Yeah, so what's happened with towering and ruins specifically is now these towering units cannot see through ruins like they used to. So they act just like any other normal unit when it comes to ruins, with the one exception that in order to see through a ruin, they can be within that ruin, right? So normally you have to be wholly within the footprint of a ruin to see through that ruin.
Yeah.
Towering only have to be within. So the tip of the base could be on that ruin, and now they can see through that ruin, provided they can get true line of sight.
Yeah, it's going to work a lot like 9th edition rules did for vehicles.
Yeah.
If you tow onto it, you'll unlock the feature that you've towed onto. But what they were able to do before was shoot at units behind a ruin through windows and stuff that were on the other side of the table.
Yes.
That's now not going to happen.
Good.
Aircraft still can, but not towering.
Yeah.
But the good thing for this, and I think we need to look at the positives here as well for towering models. I don't think I've ever seen a dedicated towering close combat knight on the table.
Nope, not in recent times.
Because they could be shot from anywhere on the table. They could never be hidden from a piece of terrain. And they never got the advantages of being able to shoot through the others.
No.
So now, actually, this is an advantage for those combat knights because they can now hide.
Cool.
Which is great.
Yeah, great.
So the rule works both ways.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see slightly more combat dedicated knights, depending on obviously how the points wash out.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next up.
Overwatch. All right, big change with Overwatch.
Yeah.
So you can't ever use Overwatch on Titanic units.
Okay.
Right, so this is huge. So with Imperial Knights, we used to have the Crusader.
Yeah.
Which if it stood still, it got sustained hits until its next movement phase.
And remember, you always Overwatch on a 6, and then if you've got sustained, every actual successful hit is another hit.
So this was a ludicrous amount of shooting. Okay. Now they just can't Overwatch at all. So you've got your Wraith Knights can't Overwatch, so you can't put in a Fate dice for a 6 and just do 1,000,000 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Or just a ton of damage in the new balanced data slate.
The Storm Surge.
Storm Surge, your Guard Super Heavies.
Your Taunar.
Your Taunar.
Yeah.
Good. So that's one change. And then the target also needs to be visible.
This is also amazing.
Yeah, it is.
How can you Overwatch something when you can't see it? And I'm glad that has now changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overwatch should be reactionary, not just, oh, you're 24 inches away, I'll hit you with some more mortars. And so I think this is actually a great change.
I agree. Yeah, I think it should always probably have been this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really, really great change for Overwatch.
Yeah, there are other changes affecting Overwatch, which we'll cover shortly.
Yeah, 100%. We're actually going to do a dedicated video on Overwatch as well to show you how you can work around it and really looking at Overwatch as a rule. Because it might be one of those things that people don't quite understand and aren't quite playing correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is CP manipulation.
Right, okay. So any ability that changes the cost of your command of your stratagems for you can now only affect battle tactic stratagems.
Yes. So often this would be a captain could say, hey, by the way, you can do that stratagem for free, providing it targets his or their unit.
Yep.
And you could also do it even if another unit had also used that same stratagem.
Yes. And
this was the same for example, Overwatch. You used the example of the Crusader Knight. Can this Rex here?
This is Canis Rex.
He has that ability. He could then Overwatch for free himself.
Thousand Suns could Overwatch 3 times in a turn. Not anymore.
No. And because although the stratagem for Overwatch states that you could only use this once per game, once per battle round or whatever, or turn. Because the rider said even if it was already used, that was like a get out of jail free card for you to continually use it. Now, what you need to do is look at a stratagem and see if it has the keyword battle tactic.
Yes.
Because you've got epic deeds, you've got battle tactics, you've got strategic ploys, and
war gear.
War gear. Okay, so Overwatch is not a battle tactic.
No.
Tank shock.
Not a battle tactic.
Okay, command point reroll.
That is a battle tactic.
Okay, so you could use that for free.
Cool.
That's not too bad.
Go to ground is another battle tactic. Underused.
And these are from the core.
These are the core stratagems, okay?
Yeah.
Now, there are some factions that benefit massively from this, but before I say that, any vect abilities, any abilities that make command points cost more for your opponent, those also only affect battle tactics.
Yeah, so they don't also become like some sort of super card now.
No.
They're all affecting the same things.
I think it's important to note that if you do have a datasheet ability that makes stratagems cost more for yourself because you're massive, then those aren't changed. So like the Tau Manta, if you're mad enough to take one, is still going to cost more command points to use strats.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So should we go over how they impact factions when we come to those factions?
Can do. Yeah.
Let's leave it because this is going to really massively impact some of those top performing factions. And if we go back to that meta watch, we can point out some of the armies that are able to abuse this. So if we look at the Overwatch, the mechanics of what we've spoken about, Overwatch so far, devastating wounds, that's massively going to affect Eldar.
Yes.
We've also got Genestealer Cult. They 100% abuse the free stratagem.
Yep, absolutely do.
Okay. Yep. Imperial Knights, well, they were abusing potentially the Towering Change and Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah, exactly.
Adeptus Custodes, 1,000 Suns, all here in the top 2, abusing that free stratagem mechanic.
Yeah.
And when I say abusing, I use that term a bit liberal. It was how it was written. I'm not
using it as powerfully as you possibly could.
Yeah. Or should I say, get the most from it.
Most from it. Yeah.
So already we've just hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top performing factions, and now going to see some significant decreases.
Yeah.
Because of either Overwatch or whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then if you look at the bottom, things like Leagues of Votann and Tau, and also Death Guard, they don't really actually have many ways to manipulate those things.
No, not
so
at all.
we can look at this and qualitatively think, right, well, how are these changes now going to start shaping this meta? Because we need to get the 67% win rate down, and we also want to get the 35 win % up.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Yes, Jordan's got his hand up.
So we've had another super chat from Dark Herimore. I hope I got that right. Said, just wanted to say hello and thanks for the stream. I've started the Academy this week. It's awesome and very helpful. Nice,
that's fantastic. Thank you so much for the super chat. You have literally 2 more days left until the Academy closes for probably the next kind of 5 to 6 months, whatever it is. So if you want to jump on the Academy now is the best time. And it literally is the best time because we've got a brand new balanced data slate and I couldn't be more excited to play 40k right now.
Yeah, you should have seen this guy before the balanced data slate.
I wasn't going to tournaments.
No.
I wasn't feeling them. And I'll be brutally honest about that.
Yeah.
This is something that I also expressed to Games Workshop. I'm not feeling tournaments right now. But now I am. Like, I'm excited to go to the London Grand Tournament.
Yeah, same.
I'm genuinely excited. I think the game so far for 10th edition has been great for getting people into the game and helping them learn about the armies. And I think it's been fantastic from that side. And we've had a great time making battle reports and making content around the game as it's. But this was an element, the competitive side, which we felt was lacking. And it's nice to see Games Workshop give a little bit of love to this area to bring us like our ability and want to compete is now been invigorated again, which is awesome. Yeah. So hopefully it continues all for the greater good.
We have had another super chat quick, sorry mate, from Fixed Bayonets. He said, Orks, Orks, Orks. I think someone's excited for Orks.
Yeah. It's interesting because Orks haven't had the most significant amount of changes.
No.
But I actually think they're in a nice little place.
Same. Yeah, definitely.
So we spoke about CP manipulation. Okay, let's talk about this next one, Insane Bravery.
Okay, so this is once per battle now.
Yes. So Insane Bravery in 9th edition, you could basically, instead of trying to take a morale check, you could just spend a command point and auto pass it. Now in 10th edition, you could roll the dice.
Yeah.
See what happened. And then, I failed it. Well, I still want to hold this objective. I'll just spend a CP. And in a lot of cases, it kind of meant Battle Shock was irrelevant. Yeah. Especially for those armies that can farm, and what I mean by that is generate more CPs. Yeah. Like Eldar, for example. Got an Autarch. Woo! Have a CP. Insane Bravery. Yeah, no problem. I'll hold that objective still with my 1 model remaining, although the rest of the 9 have run away or died. Yeah. So it kind of made it irrelevant, which I didn't like.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I don't like it.
Because it's once per game.
Because it's once per game.
I like the fact that now players actually have to decide, hey, do I want to risk this roll? Or should I spend resources on this roll?
Yeah.
I like that.
That's fair.
And I think I agree with you, the once per game, because Battle Shock might be going too harsh for those armies that aren't performing great at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
And I think, will it? Because if we look at a lot of these strong armies right now, Aeldari, General is 7. I believe Genestealer Cult is 7. Genestealer Cult don't care if they're
7
Battle Shock.
6 for Eldar.
Yeah.
They're quite good at it.
Imperial Knights?
Yeah. 6. Yeah.
Custodes?
Definitely 6.
1,000 Suns?
6.
Yeah, we look at some of those other armies down the bottom, then they might be looking at like, your 7s or your 8s.
Yeah, like your Guards, your Tau, Leagues of Votann even. Yeah. And Orks, of course, not that they're doing too badly. Yeah. But I personally don't think it was the right time for the change, but I understand the change.
Yeah, I think there was probably bigger things to focus on.
Yes.
And there was actually other elements that I'd have liked to seen in here that aren't.
Yes.
But we can talk about that hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
Not something we can talk about today. No. Yes, Jordan.
We've had another super chat.
Yes, mate.
From Liam Anskevid. It's a bunch of letters.
Just go with Liam, Jordan. Let's make it easy for yourself, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't want to just say Liam. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
He said, I'm genuinely so excited to see Votann now. I'm going to a tournament next week, and I'm keen to see how my new list goes with the new points and token.
Yeah,
awesome.
Baby.
Yeah.
Token or tokens?
Oh, yeah, tokens.
Let's be honest, it's multiple now. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're in agreement. Mm-hmm. This change, we weren't sure if it was needed.
Yeah.
And I think time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
But remember, we saw this in 9th edition with a balanced data slate. Sometimes something will appear for a certain period of time, and then it'll be removed.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be tweaked.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a halfway house that'll be perfect in the sweet spot, because it took us 3 years to balance 9th edition, right? So it's going to take some time to get it to a place where a little tweak here, a little tweak there. And when I say us, I mean Games Workshop, the community, all working together collectively to provide data, provide feedback, them to listen, implement changes. It is a collective thing, and it only actually improves the game if we remain positive and provide solutions rather than just moaning.
Yep, I agree. On that note, with this change, if you've got any way of forcing more battle shocks in your opponent's command phase, or that crazy ability where if they're below starting strength, they have to take them, looking at Chaos Knights, that is going to be terrifying.
Yes.
With this change.
No pun intended. Yeah. Right, so let's get on to factions.
Okay.
We're going to look at the factions, we're going to look at if there was a change to their balanced data slate and their rules, and then also the points. All right. Is there any questions, Jordan, you want to reach out at this point? I'm very warm.
No, there's just a lot of people saying hello. So I did put a poll up saying, are we happy with the data slate changes?
Right.
And we've had 74% of people say yes.
Right. Okay, I'm interested in the other 26.
Yeah.
What are you not happy about?
Yeah, exactly. Put it in the comments and I'll make sure to read them out.
Put it in a constructive way. I don't want moaning. Yeah. Okay. And think before you type.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool.
People on the internet thinking before they type.
I'm asking too much.
That is a lot.
Sorry guys, just type then. Or just think, don't type. Yeah. No, we want the typing. Whatever, you name it. All right, cool. So...
Are we going in alphabetical order?
We are going to go in alphabetical order.
Yeah, so this is the same order as the Munitorum manual.
Now.
Adeptus Sororitas.
Yep.
Okay. Was there a balanced data slate change for Adeptus Sororitas?
No change for them.
No rule changes?
No rules changes. However, they have been positively impacted by plenty of the abilities in there.
Yep.
They're low toughness army in general, so Overwatch, massive, that change. And of course, the devastating wounds as well, because they're one-way models too. Yeah,
the things that were, and also towering, just been able to get picked up really easily. Now, across all the points, no enhancements have changed points that I could see. No. So the enhancements are remaining the same. Now, in terms of Adeptus Sororitas, I think aside from Crusaders, everything has gone down.
Yeah.
Anywhere from like 5 points to 10 points. And I reckon out of an entire army, you should gain around 200 points in your list.
Yeah.
Paragon Warsuits, particularly, were 240.
They were 240.
They're now 200. So if you're running 9 of these, you've just gained 120 points. Morvian Vow is 125. What was she before?
135.
So she's down 10. Repentia, 130 now.
150 they were.
So they've had a 20-point decrease. And then also Retribute is another key unit, 115.
130.
Another 15-point decrease. So these are units that we would see multiple of. So if you're running 3 units of Repentia and they've dropped 20, you've just gained 60 points. If you're running 3 units of 3 units of 5 Retributors, you've gained another 45 points there. So that's around 100. Chucking a couple of Paragon Warsuits, that's another 100 points right there as well. So you could be gaining anywhere from maybe 200 to 300 points.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Jordan.
we've had a super chat from Frank Snade. He said, added like 200 points to my army. Horde Sisters, anyone?
Brilliant.
And then we have had quite a few messages in response to what you said.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through some of them.
Yeah. Are people enjoying the way that we're doing this, by the way? Give us some good... Because it was always a bit of an idea of how are we going to actually, rather than just going... this unit's up by 10 or that one's... We're trying to give a really good overview in the effect of the army.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got 300 people watching and only 42 likes. Come on, guys.
Pump them numbers.
Pump them numbers up. But anyway, let me read some of these out. So, Shadow Mains, he said, I'm not happy that Votann is a little more Horde like now. I am happy about the Judgment Token changes. I'm sort of in between on that one.
Okay, so let me jump in on this one.
Yep.
They have seen significant points drops.
Yeah.
What the balanced data slate can't do is go in and start changing rules for units. Okay, because that balanced data slate, that they try and make it as minimal text written as possible, all of a sudden you'd be like, change this data sheet, change this one, change that one, and it would get really complicated. So I agree with you that, yeah, Votann are going to feel a lot more like maybe you need to buy more models or whatever. Yeah. It's not done to do that, and it's not done to make you play a Horde army. It's just done to help you, and hopefully when the Codex comes around, then Games Workshop can take this feedback, take it on board, and go, hey, maybe we make Votann feel a little bit more elite. Let's give them more punch, more durability, more unique rules that make them fit and feel a little bit more special towards Votann, and then we increase the points again to make them actually reflect how you want them to play. So you've got to remember that these are little patches, and I always think of Index Season, which we're in at the minute, as like a beta test. Yeah. And I think that's a great way of looking at it and staying much more positive rather than, oh, my index is rubbish. Look, let's try and play it. Let's try and break it. Let's try and do the best we can with it. Let's give that feedback to Games Workshop, and then hopefully they can reflect and evaluate and make the game as best as it possibly can be as the codexes start getting released.
Yep, I agree, mate. Azula Aruman said, I'm not quite happy with Thousand Suns and Chaos Knights becoming more expensive, so slight moan. Okay. That was just one of the comments. We've also had Matt Riley said, I think the nerfs have been too broad just to nerf Eldar, but have caught other armies such as changes to mortals, etc. Nat Jones did say about, obviously you said you'd probably be able to get new kits with the Votann, like new units into your army because of the points changes. He said he's not too thrilled that he's going to have to buy more Votann models. Yeah. So there's the other flip side to that. Yeah. Then we've had quite a few. Oh, we have actually had a super chat from Mortarian's Muffin Company. He said, this data slate has really invigorated my love for the Death Guard, but more importantly, what's your favourite muffin flavour?
My favourite muffin flavour? Now that is a good question. I do like just a triple chocolate. Yeah.
I think just a single chocolate.
Single chocolate. I like the triple chocolate. You know, like I just love it.
I want 9 chocolates.
Fair enough.
Right. Anyway, so Sisters, do we think will be helped by this data slate?
Oh, massively, massively.
And I think the reason why Sisters will be helped, I don't think they're going to be massively impacted because they've had no rules change. I think Sisters will get some help because the other armies that were preying on them most heavily have now been reduced.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's when they'll come into their own. Where are they at right now in regards to their win rate? They're down at like a 41% win rate. Okay. I would probably see this balanced data slate bring them to maybe like a 45.
Yeah.
A slight increase. They're certainly not a big winner, but they're also not a big loser with this balanced data slate.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up is Adeptus Custodes.
Okay.
Right. Buckle up.
All right. So yes.
There's some changes.
They had some changes in the balanced data slate. Okay, so the first one of these is their stratagem to fight first on an objective is now an epic deed, not a battle tactic.
So you can't use it for free?
No. All right, so Custodes had 4 battle tactics and they were all excellent. Yeah. Now they only have the 3. Ooh. Yes, they do still have the -1 damage as a battle tactic, so they can do that for free.
Don't like
multiple units. Not a fan.
No.
But at least the fight first is gone and it gives combat armies a bit more impetus in the game.
Yeah, because at the minute, if you were going to a tournament, you wouldn't take a combat army because Custodes are so prevalent and they fight first, which means they will start even if you charged and you'll just get knocked out by 10 Guardian. Done. No questions asked. Or Wardens. They'll kill you before you get a chance to strike. And that's a really unplayable and unpleasant experience to know that you're just going to run into it and you don't have anything to even do. It was same in 9th edition when you played against 40 Deathwing Terminators. You just couldn't do anything. And it makes you feel like you're playing a game that's completely one-sided. So I'm actually glad to see this change here.
Yeah.
What else has changed?
Unit sizes.
Okay.
So Guard now have a 4 to 5 cap, essentially. So you can't take 10 Custodian Guard anymore.
And they've also had a points increase.
And a points increase.
So they're now
5 per model.
Yeah, 5 per model. So over a unit of 10, you're looking at a 25-point increase if you take 5.
Yeah.
Okay, Wardens.
Same again, 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Is the cap.
So it matches more what you get in the box.
Yeah, because if you buy 2 boxes of Wardens, one of them you would make into a captain.
Yeah.
And then you've got 5 guys, right?
Yeah.
And then for the guard, if you buy 1 box of guard, you're going to have 4 guard potentially in a character, or just 5 guard.
Yeah. And again, these have gone up slightly as well.
Yeah, another 5 points each.
Yeah. Okay, the shield captain is 140.
Okay. There is another unit size change,
okay,
which is the bikes. They're 1 to 3 now. You can't take 6s.
Yeah.
Fine.
And I think most people were probably taking 3s anyway.
Yeah.
Due to how fly worked.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a huge change on those.
They are 2 to 3 actually now, I think. I don't know if you could take them in...
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you could take them in 3s, what they call vertical.
You probably could, because one would become the captain.
Okay. Yeah, you could, yeah. Right.
Land Raiders are also down, I think, yeah. And also Trajan Valorius and the shield captains are up. The shield captain's 140 now. I think it's like a 20-point increase.
Yeah, 20-point increase, yeah.
And then Trajan is 160.
Okay, 15-point increase.
Okay, and they're the most significant changes. So how do we feel about Custodes in the meta? Well, they've had some massive changes.
Yeah.
Do we think that, they were clocking in pretty high up there at, 4th place at a 56% win rate? But I would say their biggest predator was Genestealer Cult and also Aeldari, who both sit above them.
Yeah.
And I would probably assume that most Custody players would maybe go 3 and 1, 4 and 1, and then hit an Eldar player.
Yeah.
And then probably lose that game because of just devastating wounds, indirect, being able to move away. Because some of these units want to, like the Wardens, want to be able to move forward and then charge. But then an Eldar player can just phantasm whatever it is they come to charge out the way and they can't charge it anymore. So Custodes did all their damage in combat, and we found ourselves in a really shooting meta. So hopefully as we see more combat come to the game, that'll also help Custodes because they really thrive there.
Yeah.
So I think at a 56% win rate, I can see them probably dropping down to maybe a 51.
Yeah, 51. I could see a 53. I don't think they'll actually change that much just because the stuff above them is going to be massively impacted.
But providing they're...
a few percent, I think, is... Yeah, they're not suddenly going to be terrible.
I think they'll still be above the 50 mark.
Yeah, agreed.
Jord.
We've had a couple of super chats from Clayton. He said, triple chocolate for the win. Also, how does Jord feel about the points decreases and Blood Angels, Sanguinary Guard are back? And he also said stream is a lot better today.
Yeah, I mean, the stream couldn't get worse, could it?
Well, true.
Thank you very much, Clayton. You're absolute legend. Are people enjoying our format, by the way?
Yeah, people said it's really good. They are happy with it.
Great.
Let
us know. Give us your feedback. We want to make this the best we possibly can. We put as much effort and time as we can into this. The whole team's worked tirelessly all day to ensure that we can give you the best production we can. And if you've got ideas, let us know, because it will help inform us make better content for you. And let's be honest, that's why we do it. I will say this though, if you're constantly negative on the channel, I am just going to hide you. Because I'm kind of sick and tired of people just moaning. And at the end of the day, we do this channel first and foremost. Yes, it is now a business, but I did it first of all because I love doing it. And everybody here, Jordan, Seb, Michael, Aaron, everyone, put so much time in. Let's not forget Jake, although he's not here. We put so much time and energy into this, and it's a real hobby and passion for us. And I don't want the people here that work so hard to be stifled by negative comments. So, of course, be constructive. Help us improve. Give us great ideas. But if you're negative for the sake of it, I'm just going to hide you, because if you come into my house and you don't take your shoes off, you're going to know about it. I stole that from somewhere else, but I thought it was great.
I like it, Steve.
I like it, yeah.
I'll talk about Blood Angels when we talk about Blood Angels, don't worry.
Yeah,
good shout,
So, Adeptus Mechanicus up next.
Okay, so they have had a change in the balance data slate.
What's changed?
So their Rangers and their Vanguard now have 4+ armor saves.
Okay.
And 5+ invulnerable saves.
Rather than a 5+, 6+.
Yes.
This is very good.
Their army, in general, focuses on being within range of battle line units.
They're an unnecessary tax.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually good your tax will stay alive a bit longer now. And, currently at the moment, they're looking at a
40%
win rate. There's a slight bottom faction. However, I'll be honest, I actually think here, it's a subtle change, but when we can, with the points as well, Rangers and Vanguard are both significantly down. So your tax is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It really is. You'll be able to fit a few more units in, and it's going to survive longer. Hopefully that helps get this army up to, let's say, a 45% win rate.
Yeah. Look, we're not saying they're suddenly going to be 50s or above 50s.
No.
There's been points drops generally across there, like 10s, 15s. You're probably going to get potentially like 200 maybe points back for your list.
Yeah, I would say you're looking at maybe, there's only like 4, it's only really the characters have stayed the same.
Yeah.
Ballistari stayed the same because they were actually pretty, reasonably priced. But your robots are down, your breaches are down, your infiltrators, your rust stalkers, everything's down. Your units to play the mission, like your infiltrators, are 70 points. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like you compare that to 5 Storm Boys, which are 65. If they can infiltrate at a 70-point price mark, that can cleanse an objective, investigate a signal. That's great because now your mission play is going to be better. Is it going to kill anything? No, but it will score you some points. And let's be honest, points mean prizes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we think it would certainly bump those numbers.
It's going to bump the numbers up. Yeah.
Okay, next up is Aeldari.
Before we move on to the dark horses of 40k.
Yeah.
So just a quick message. So we've had one super chat. So Taylor has just said, where do we find the Dataslate? It's on Warhammer Community and also on the app as well.
And there's a link below. I put it in the description earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve's ahead of that one for us.
I'm already on it.
And also the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. He said, do try running a Death Guard channel in the last few months. I took the same stance, but don't have time for negativity. No.
Aidan as well, who runs that podcast, has actually just joined us here as one of our players for VT. I really love Aidan's ethos, and when we had a chat with him, it just aligns so well. So it's a huge welcome. So if you haven't gone and followed Aidan and his podcast, go and do that. I think he's a breath of fresh air in what might be quite a toxic army.
Pungent,
toxic, smelly, maggoty. He's a shining light in there.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So go and check it out. He puts out some great information, and I think he's interviewing one of our other players, Death Guard Dave, very soon. I think he's also done a podcast with Innes Wilson, who did quite well at a Goonhammer event. So guys, go and check him out. Give him a follow. Awesome. Right, Aeldari up next.
Cool. No changes.
Cool. Moving on.
I think they're fine.
67%. I mean, I play Eldar, and surely I would have wanted them cooked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so they have been touched by the balanced data slate. The Phantasm stratagem is infantry only.
Yes.
I personally don't think that's enough.
Okay.
I think it should have been when an enemy unit moves within
a certain
distance,
range, yeah.
Because what this means is anywhere on the board you could just move a unit.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, you could set up for a future turn, whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
It's probably the most powerful stratagem in the game without that rider.
Do you know what I'd loved it to have been?
What?
Aspect.
Oh, imagine.
Aspect infantry or mounted.
That'd be cool.
Because I think that kind of fit and fills the flavour for those units. Like, I can quickly dodge my Howling Banshees out of the way. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your Striking Scorpions, your Shining Spears, the units that we never see.
But my Wraith Knight, I want to...
Move it out the way.
It was a phantasm. It was never really there.
Yeah.
That giant thing with the massive guns.
Yeah. It's also... The tanks are so efficient.
Yeah.
The Night Spinners, the Fire Prisms, and the 3 things we've just mentioned there. And let's not miss out the Avatar and the Incarn.
Of course.
We're talking crazy point increases.
Yes.
But I don't feel like they were necessarily enough still on the Fire Prism and maybe even the Night Spinner.
Yeah.
So they're both now at 180. So what are they? What was the Fire Prism before?
150, I think.
Okay.
160. Fire Prism.
Left-hand side it should be.
Oh, thank you. 150, yeah.
So it's gone up 30 points.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, when we look at Eldar, Fate Dice is obviously strong and it works really well with anything that needs to hit or needs to wound.
Right.
It also, Eldar's rule where they can re-roll a hit and a wound roll works amazingly on single-shot weapons or low-volume shots, but it works terribly on Striking Scorpions or Banshees.
Yes.
So lots of attacks. Who cares if you have a re-roll? It's not going to change the outcome.
But why have one re-roll when you can have two? Like a Fire Prism.
So Fire Prisms are 100% effective all the time.
All the time.
Okay, not 100%, but you know where we're getting at.
Yeah.
Because if you're not hitting on 3s with 2 re-rolls, then you're in trouble. But with 2 shots. So the Fire Prism is amazingly effective with Eldar's index at the moment, with the way it's written. because of the detachment rule. Night Spinners, again, they have the ability to proc critical wounds and get devastating.
Yeah.
Same with the D-cannons. They can proc devastating wounds really well with low volume rerolls, putting in fate dice. So we've seen some massive changes. Fire Prisms are up, Night Spinners are up. Warp Spiders that are just so point efficient for playing the mission and have devastating wounds. They're 115 for 5.
Yep.
How many are they?
100.
So they've gone up 15. Most lists are taking 3 units of Warp Spiders, so they're up 45 points roughly, most lists. Same with the Shadow Spectres. They are now 95.
Cool, yep.
Not sure what they were
I think
before.
they were 15 points up now.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I actually, again, don't think that's quite enough for Warp Spiders and Shadow Spectres. I still think you take those units over most of the others.
Yeah.
The issue here that I think we've forgotten is that we've seen points increases on the most efficient, outrageous units.
Mm-hmm.
The Incarn now, who is insane, is 350. It's gone up crazy amounts.
Is it the Incarn?
The Incarn, yeah. It's like up 60 or 70.
Yeah, 270 here, yeah.
So it's up literally, 70 points. The problem is, because the other units, and this is my sort of friction a little bit, is that I feel like because the win rate has been so outrageous, that Games Workshop were maybe scared to decrease some points here and there. Because at the moment, nothing went down.
Right.
So we've got a lot of units here that are never taken. Like this Autarch Wayleaper went up because he's just insane.
Yeah.
But the Void Weaver Corsairs didn't go down.
Did Dark Reapers go up?
The Dark Reapers went up.
Did they?
They're 80 points for 5.
They went up 5 points.
They didn't need to go up. They were just bad.
I was like, that wins the stream, that one. I don't...
Like, it's just not good. Fire Dragons remain the same that you could have done with a decrease.
I'll take my 15 Dark Reapers out of my list now.
Yeah, Howling Banshees, 10 Howling Banshees for 170. Sure, I'll just take a Fire Prism, thanks. This is the issue, is that the internal balance is slightly skewed. And this is an area that I think we need to work on, is to get the internal balance of this index better, so we don't just see the same units, but just less of them.
Yeah.
Now, I looked at the Nova winning list.
Okay.
The Nova winning list, and congratulations to the person that did win Nova. This is just an example of a winning list. That was Aeldari, but this is no way to take any sort of thing away from you. I think your list was pretty cool. You had some units there that we've even mentioned. There was no Wraith Knight. There was War Walkers, but War Walkers have gone up. We've also got, so the list was basically the Death Jester, Iliac Night Spinner, the Incarn Yvrain, 3 Hornets, Rangers, 3 units of Spectres, a Viper, 3 units of War Walkers, 3 Warp Spider units, and 3 Ravagers. Okay.
And 3 Dark Reaper units.
No.
Oh.
No. The list lost 370 points, and we didn't even name. It was only the Incarn that came up really.
Yeah.
So 370 points lost. So if you think about this. Those armies that are gaining 200, gaining 300, that is a 600-point differential now to some of these matchups.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how do we think this army's going to change? They're currently at a 67% win rate. Where are we putting them now, Michael? What's our best guess?
I think they could still be at a 60,
Okay, so I think if the same player base right now is continually playing Eldar and they don't jump to a different faction, I think we could still see them at the 60 mark, Yeah,
60, even 63 or something. I don't think the changes are... Basically what you do is you either keep the same damage in your army and drop a few mission play units, or you drop a damage and keep some mission play units. Realistically, they're going to go the damage route. Yeah.
So although there are some big changes there, again, I think people will jump off them though, and they'll find other things because there's some other massive winners in this book.
Yes.
I reckon it will probably finish off around 58%.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
We should probably rattle this down in the next balance data slate, see how close we were.
Right. Yes.
That'll be interesting, actually. Okay, cool. Agents of the Imperium.
Okay.
Let's have a little check about these.
So these did have a balance data slate change.
Yep.
The Exaction Squad, everybody's favourite Popo. You take 5 of these with 35 points.
Take them.
5 at Film of Pain.
Put the police in.
Bunch of rules. Yeah. Now it's a 10-person squad. So
you're paying 110 points now?
You can't take them in 5s.
No.
You can't just slot them in when you've got 40 points left and need someone to do a card for you.
Voidsmen went up 10.
Voidsmen were the alternative for it.
They've gone up 10 points.
They've gone up 10 points. They're 50.
The Calidus Assassin, which a lot of people took because of the CP manipulation, is down 20 points.
Okay.
Not bad, though.
No.
I think pretty good still, especially because it's got Lone Op and Infiltrator.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're obviously not a faction, but they'll just fit into those factions that they can obviously join. Mm-hmm. Okay, your favourite up next, Michael? We've got the Astra Militarum.
Astra Militarum.
Before we get there, Jordan, what's the chat saying? What's the feedback?
So, pretty
much the same. Are people taking their shoes off before they come in the house?
Yeah,
or are
people are praising you, mate, for your stance and all that. We have had a super chat. I was waiting for you to finish through the Aeldari.
Yeah.
It's from Byron Sidhu. He said, "My NIDS faction specialist, Mike, and big up Steve for the positivity, dude. We all need more of it."
Thanks, Byron.
Amen.
Cheers, Byron.
Yeah, what an absolute legend.
He is a legend.
I think I've had the pleasure of playing Byron once, maybe twice.
I've played him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single game, loved it.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll play again soon, Byron. It'd be awesome. Thank you for your comment. Any others?
So Adam Gray said, "Love your work, fellas. I haven't played in years, but have been watching you for some time now and can't express how much I appreciate what you do for the gaming community. Keep up the great work."
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and a lot of people saying the same thing, really, just appreciating it and also agreeing with what we're talking about with the balanced data slate and things that have been said.
Awesome. Now, as we are spoken about a lot more positive for the tournaments, I would be remiss to say that. Remiss? Is that a good word?
Yeah, you're good.
Look at me, I'm looking at these.
You're doing really well.
I'm doing good with these big words, aren't I, Michael?
Yeah.
So, the London Grand Tournament workshop that we are running, there are still places available. Okay, and I'm not going to lie, it's actually been quite hard to sell some spots on this workshop. The one that we did at LVO is always a sellout. The one we did at Lone Star Open recently, I did in Texas, was crazy. And it was awesome. The day is amazing. What we do is we cover game planning, we look at what questions to ask your opponent. You'll play against so many different people, you'll practice your deployment against so many different armies, different players, looking at the terrain, how it's going to affect you. And when we've got a massive coaching team coming for LGT, you will literally have a coach on every single table that there is and helping both players coordinate, and you're going to rotate round. It's a little bit like speed dating, but speed warhammering.
I guess so, actually.
Yeah,
it is.
You move around, meet a different opponent.
Yeah.
We'll show you some cool tricks and tips. There are spaces available. And I think because of this balanced data slate, I think a lot of people are going to be infused to get to the tournament scene. And we'd love to see you at the workshop. Yeah. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's the day before the London Grand Tournament. You don't even need to be playing in the tournament if you want to just come and learn to play. Just bring your army, 2,000 points. It doesn't even need to be painted. Come along, learn to play in an awesome community that we're going to build on it. And it's just going to really prepare you for all tournaments in the future. We'd love you to come, and the link is below. There's still tickets available. Yeah. So anyway, Guard, mate.
Guard. Well, I'm taking these to LGT.
You are?
I've decided.
Okay.
I'm going to force myself to paint 6 tanks in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'll take them to LGT.
I like it.
So speaking of tanks, I think the biggest change for Astra Militarum, no change in the balance data slate.
No.
Is overall their tanks all dropped by about 20 points.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
So the Lehman Russes in the Dawn, yeah?
Lehman Russes in the Dawn. Anything indirect, the normal tanks have gone up about 20, 25 points. They were really carrying the faction in the win rate, so it's nice to see them toned down. And then by the time the next Meta Watch comes out, and the next balance data slate, we can see whether it's not them carrying the army anymore. You know, the tanks are actually doing the work.
The Rough Riders are down as well. Your favourite unit?
Yeah, my favourite unit. I don't know if I can paint 30 in 3 weeks though, so I'll hold off for the next event.
So this is great. This is what we talk about internal balance. The stuff that's not great is cheaper.
Yep.
The stuff that is too great and carrying the faction is more expensive.
Yep.
And I wish they would have done this with Eldar.
Yes.
But I think, and I'm going to be quite honest here, I think Games Workshop listen to people that whinge more. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
It feels like they are trying to appease a community rather than necessarily doing what should be done for that faction. And that, I personally don't agree with 100%. Don't get me wrong, it's certainly better.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a little bit better internal balance in these factions. And I love what they've done here with Guard, okay?
Yes.
You know, and of course we've got a great relationship with Games Workshop, but I'd be I still need to be honest about how I feel. But yeah, Astra Militarum, I think these are all great changes.
I'll mention one more thing. The Forge World Earthshaker Carriage Battery and Medusa have gone up massively.
Yeah, so now the Carriage Battery is 120.
Good, that's gone up 40 points.
The other Medusa is 110.
Okay, so that's gone up 30 points.
The Manticore is 150.
Cool, 25.
Yeah, probably even got off lightly there, but...
What we'll say for the Forge World ones, right, so these are essentially the same as a Basilisk, the Earthshaker Carriage, but easier to give orders to.
Right, okay.
And like 50 points cheaper.
Okay.
So don't complain about this, okay?
Yeah, it's great.
Needed to happen.
It needed to happen, yeah. And you're a guard player.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't want just indirect to be ruling everything. And of course, they'll lose the ability to Overwatch anyway. But indirect is still a very powerful mechanic in the game, especially when it combines with the heavy keyword, because then you don't get the negative. Okay, so guard at the moment, 43% win rate.
43. I would hope to see it go above 45 with some of the changes happening. I wouldn't expect it to hit 50.
No.
But I would hope to see at least 45, maybe 46.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 40, where it is right now, I think will probably remain roughly the same.
And obviously I'm starting to play them now, so...
It shoot up.
It shoot up, obviously.
Down. Anyway, okay, next faction.
Black Templars.
Ooh.
Oh, you've got a few things to say about these, haven't you?
I've got a few things to say about these. Now, Black Templars were my first ever army that I ever collected. Okay, and it was where the box came, I think it...
Sorry. It just looks so good.
You want to eat it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my new painted sword brethren. I'm going to post this on the Instagrams today. I am going to take Black Templars to the London Grand Tournament.
Awesome.
Decided. Okay. I love the model range so much. I've really enjoyed playing the factions and the games on stream and stuff. And Sword Brethren, I'm loving them. Cool. They're literally my favourite model in the game.
Yeah.
And this is probably the best model I've ever painted in my entire life. So I'm super happy with it. Hopefully even James from Siege will be proud of me. I'll send him the pics.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So, Black Templars, let's talk about those.
Okay.
The characters are down significantly. Right. Which is great, because actually Black Templars work in the opposite way to most other armies. Okay. Characters normally buff the units.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the units buff the characters in this game.
Okay.
For Black Templars.
Right, okay.
So Grimaldus is 95 points.
Okay, all right. So he's gone down 25.
Awesome.
Ooh, okay.
You know, this is great. Helbrecht is 95. He's down like...
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
Crusaders are 280 for 20.
Ooh, that's 40 points.
Big drops.
For 40 wounds of Space Marines, I like it.
I did actually look at taking 100 Crusaders to the LGT. Can you imagine
You're
that?
not painting that many.
No, I'm not. Then I wouldn't get any Sword Brethren in. They're also 280 for 10.
Oh, wow. So they've dropped 50 points for the 10.
Emperor's Champion is 75. He's down 20.
Okay.
Is that right? Down
10,
20?
10.
Down 10?
Yeah.
But also, the Repulsor, the Impulsor, and all those lot, you're no longer paying 15 points for a single multi-melter, it's now just 5.
Yeah.
So it makes taking those vehicles a little bit better, because they really struggled from range, and it's nice to bring some of these tanks in without such a big tax. Also,
some of these have gone up, but that's because the Space Marine equivalent has also gone up. So it's a sort of reflection.
Or it's roughly stayed the same, The Land Raiders are all down as well, and they're such an iconic unit. So that's great. Next up, Jordan. Black Templars on here are currently at a 45% win rate.
I could see that go to like 47, 48.
I think...
Oh, you started playing them, so...
38.
Yeah, you both went the same way.
With my 100 Crusader Horde. Yeah, you heard it here first. So I actually think between 45 and 50 is probably where they'll sit and flush out, Yes, Jordan. Do you have your hand up?
No, I didn't know.
You just got a massive grin on your face because we're about to talk about Blood Angels.
Yeah!
Okay, so big changes here then. I'm going to talk about the key units.
Captain Tycho.
Yes.
Mike, why would you say that?
Shh.
Oh, sorry, I'm commentating.
We're going to talk about the big ones. Brother Corbolo.
Yeah.
75.
He's the same.
Oh. Tycho, 75.
Yeah.
75.
No
change?
No change.
Right, let's move on.
I just say Tycho to annoy Jord.
Yeah.
Because Tycho's actually dead in the lore, and Jord hates the fact he's got 2 models. And is better than the other named characters.
He
It's terrible.
Okay, we're not going to talk about Dante or Mephiston.
Have they not gone down?
Well, who cares if they have?
They have gone down. Dante went down 10 points, guys. Whoa, game breaking.
Okay, cool. Not bad.
Beautiful model.
Auto include now.
No, definitely not.
He's not a true Blood Angels player.
No.
Exactly.
Look, Jordan.
Yes.
I've been flying the flag for Blood Angels and Dante for a long time, all right? So don't come at me with your...
But before I was born.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come at me
Just
with...
a traitor now.
Really
I like
Dante.
Black Templars.
Yeah, my Dante was metal, mate, okay? If we're going to go there.
Yeah, mine was fine cast.
I bet that broke.
Yeah, it did quite a few times, actually.
So, anyway, we'll move on to the significant changes. Death Company Marines with jump packs are 260 points.
Wow, that's a 50-point drop.
Yeah, some of this is because they can take ranged weapons. But when you're looking at the damage output, it's like, it's got these really good pistols that do loads of damage. But you don't often use them.
No.
So it's great to see a unit like this dedicated to combat being... And also now, Thunderhammers... devastating wounds at 2 damage are not going to be as effective as they were because the mortal wounds are not going to spill.
No, that's true, yeah.
And also, Thunderhammers hit on 4s, not 3s.
Cool.
So the best efficient loadout for Death Company now is going to be Power Fists and Inferno Pistols.
Yep.
Yeah, leave those Thunderhammers at home. Right, Lamarte's 110.
Okay, he's gone down 25 points.
Yeah, he's key.
Baby.
He's great. Sanguinary Guard are 350 for 10.
They were 430.
So that's again
80 points.
Similar reason because of the pistols. And also, a lot of the time, without the assault keyword, many people are playing Blood Angels in the Gladius task force.
Yeah.
And you're normally advancing and charging, so you're not even shooting your pistols anyway. The Sanguinary Priest is down to 80 points.
Oh, 20 points.
Yeah.
Decrease, yeah.
So, what do we think on these? Unfortunately, Jordan's still playing them, so they're at a 41% win rate at the moment.
I've been keeping the faction up.
I think if Jordan stopped playing them, we'd probably see maybe a 44.
If Jordan stops,
If Jordan stops.
That's never going to happen, guys.
I mean, realistically, has enough been done that a sort of melee-focused army can really... Thrive? I don't know.
No, I don't
think it has. So I wouldn't really push these past 45%.
No.
It would be nice to see it, but from 41 to 45, that's still a 4% increase.
We haven't come to the Space Marine changes yet. Of course, they can obviously take all those units, but these were the key units you wanted to take, okay? It will all depend on what happens to Assault Marines, because they are the best unit for that. Okay, up next is
Did we mention Sanguinius's points cost?
Sanguinius? Oh, Sanguinius, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the stream's ended now because you just put me in an absolute fit of rage. He's not dead.
He's gone, mate.
He's alive in our hearts.
He's gone but never forgotten.
Yeah, unlike Tycho.
Yeah.
Who's gone but still
here.
there.
Cool. Chaos.
People are tuning out now.
Right. Shh. Jordan. Zip it.
Sorry.
We'll go back up to the hand up. Yeah? Yes, Jordan.
People are tuning out now.
So, right, Chaos Demons. Chaos Demons. Again, great internal balance changes here. We look at all the core units. Bloodletters down, Demonettes down, Plague Bearers down, Pink Horrors remain the same.
Okay.
Demonettes...
The really weak infantry stuff gone down as it should have.
Yeah, which I agree with 100%, which is awesome. Because a lot of people are just taking Chaos Demons and just spamming the monsters, the big monster mash.
To be totally honest, I don't really see that changing with how the game is.
Yeah.
But at least you can fit more of these little units in to do your missions and all sort of stuff, yeah.
Bellacor's 350.
Okay. Fine.
Up how much?
Up 25.
Okay. Bloodthirster 320.
Up 20.
Okay. Lord of Change is 260.
Up 30.
Keeper of Secrets has remained the same. Fate Weavers also remain the same, which is interesting because I thought he was taken a lot in most armies.
I guess his Vect ability has been considerably nerfed.
Okay.
So maybe that's why they didn't change him.
The Changeling is up. Shalaxi. Is it Shalaxi?
Yeah, Shalaxi.
450 now.
That's up 50 points.
But the Great Unclean one is 250.
Down 30 points.
So again, there's some kind of ups and downs here, and again, just to help out that kind of internal balance, really.
Yeah, cool.
So,
how many points are Nurglings?
Nurglings, well, they're pretty good, aren't they?
They are.
They probably should go up because
40. I think they're in the middle.
Nurglings beginning with an N.
Yep.
That is 35 for 3.
They've gone down 5 points.
You're joking me?
What are they doing?
But it's probably because Death Guard can take them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, Chaos Knights up next. Pretty much all the War Dogs are...
yeah, up 10 to 15 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is right, because otherwise people are going to start to spam them.
Yeah,
Point for point, if you look at their profile with a baked-in 5-up invulnerable save and the damage output they can do, they outshoot and out-hit Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
And normally most Dreadnoughts are clocking in at like 170.
Yeah.
So they should be Dreadnought equivalent.
Yep, I agree.
The Rampager is down, and the War Dog Carnivore. So the combat ones are down. Brilliant.
I do want to quickly go back to the Demons, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of people who are unhappy with the changes.
Okay. Well, they're at a 52% win rate right now.
They're at 52% win rate, so you got to go down now. I will say there's one thing with the increasing points that I personally don't agree with, and that's where you've got a unit that is taken a lot, but it's taken a lot because it's the only real option there is to fill that role.
Sure.
Something like Be'lakor,
yes,
you can't not take him. So you're essentially just making the army more expensive.
For the sake of it.
And like Shalaxi, there isn't really an alternative.
Okay.
But it is what it is, and you've got cheaper other units.
It's also good to see things like the Changeling going up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Thousand Sons were just throwing those in.
Yeah.
Just to, abuse mission play points, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they're at a 52, and I think they'll roughly stay the same. Because their Predators are also not going to be as effective.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But Devastating Wounds are still going to hit those massive monsters as hard as they've ever hit, because although the mortals don't spill, Devastating Wounds are still going to hit those big massive monsters like they do. So I think they'll roughly remain the same at that sort of win rate. Chaos Knights, 47% win rate. I think with the change to leadership now.
Might go up.
And also I think the change to these combat units and also how ruins are going to work, we might see some more better play in the combat units for Knights.
Yeah.
And I could actually see that, and also their Predators again coming down. Fight First on the Custodes going. Genestealer Cult, huge changes there coming up. I think they're not going to be Imperial Knight standard, but I could certainly see them coming up a couple of percent to maybe what are they now? 47, maybe 49, 50% win rate.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, we're getting there. I think.
We are. I think.
Right, Chaos Space Marines. Significant changes. Any rules changes for Chaos Space Marines?
No rules changes for Chaos Space Marines.
So Abaddon's 310. What's he up by?
He's up by 30.
Okay. Chosen, they are down.
Down 10.
Yeah, 220.
Yep.
Forged Fiends 180.
Okay, so they're up 15.
Okay. Legionaries at 80 for 5.
Wow, down 20 points for Legionaries. That's pretty good, actually.
So hang on a minute. What were they for 10?
For 10, they're 200.
Okay, so for 10 they're 180. Oh, hang on a minute, that might be 90 and 180. That makes more sense.
So they're down 10 per 5.
Yeah.
Still good.
Obliterators.
Okay, 320 here.
340.
So they're up 20 points.
So that's only 5 points a model.
Yeah.
And they're pretty efficient.
They're very efficient.
Your Possessed though, 140 for 5.
Okay, so they're down 5.
So we think about this really. I think Chaos Space Marines are roughly going to stay the same. The Terminators remain the same. Yeah. You've got enough ups and enough downs for it roughly to look like a 2,000 point army is probably going to stay the same. Yeah. If you're spamming a blitz in Forged Fiends, then of course your army might go up a little bit. But I don't think with the previous armies we've spoken about, Guard we might see an extra kind of 100 points baked in. I think I gained a couple 100 points from Black Templars. But the Chaos Space Marines I think will roughly wash out. Yeah, I agree. There's a few other points drops here and there on characters,
some of the more combat-oriented
Land Raiders, Predators look like they've gone down. So yeah, if you're not spamming the Blitz and the Forge Fiends, you'll probably have a lot. You'll probably gain 200 points.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, probably.
Right, and again, we don't think they're 47% win rate. They'll probably stay the same.
Yeah, I don't see it changing much.
Yes.
We have had a super chat from Death Guard Dave. He said, "For my one and only beloved faction." So I'm assuming that will
they're coming up soon.
That'll be
Very
Thousand
soon.
Sons. Oh wait, no, sorry.
I think we just skip them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Dark Angels.
More Chaos Space Marines?
Of course, yeah. Continuing the Chaos theme. Little changes.
Yeah.
5 points here and there on most of the units.
Yeah, not much.
The Lions stayed the same.
Cool.
Dark Shroud, Dark Talonval stayed the same. But Azrael, Laz, he's down. Deathwing Command, Samael, they're all down a little bit.
Okay.
So Dark Angels, but Dark Angels rely heavily on also Space Marine units.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless you're going pure Raven Wing. I think if you're going pure Raven Wing, you'll probably save about 100. Pure Deathwing, maybe about 50.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Dark Angels at the moment at a 45% win rate. I can probably see them staying about the same.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, next up, Death Guard.
So what's their percentage right now?
Death Guard percentage is 38%.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay.
38% win rate.
38%. I personally don't feel 38% is really representative of how Death Guard can be played.
Agreed.
But we've already discussed the potential misgivings that these might give you. Mm-hmm. They have had a balanced data slate change.
What's their data slate change?
So in the declare battle formation step, okay, they can choose a sickness that applies to their entire army in addition to their contagion range.
Mm-hmm. So contagion range is -1 toughness when you're within contagion range.
Right. So now you can choose in addition to that to have either your opponent within contagion range is -1 ballistic skill and weapon skill.
Yep. And remember, contagion range gets bigger, but will always affect weapon skill. You can't play around that.
No.
If you're a combat army, you are going to be -1 weapon skill.
And remember, that will stack with being -1 to hit.
Yes.
So if you fight Typhus's unit, you can be -1 weapon skill and -1 to hit in combat.
You could be a Space Marine with a Thunder Hammer that hits on 4s. You're now hitting on 5s because of the weapon skill. And against Typhus's unit, you're hitting on 6s. That is going to be an awful playing experience.
Yeah.
And I fundamentally disagree with this change.
Fair enough.
I think it is far too strong.
I agree.
-1 ballistic skill would have probably been okay because you can at least play around it.
Yeah, you could be further away if you wanted to shoot stuff.
Yeah. Death Guard excel in combat. They are not because of their damage dealing, but because of their defense against it. They've got amazing Overwatch from Death Shroud.
Yes.
They've also got -1 damage in multiple places in combat. They've got Fight First Plague Marines. And they've got Poxwalkers that are just hard to get through, -1 to hit and come back when they kill stuff back.
Yes.
They will just get you in combat, hug you down, and not let you leave. And they've also then got incredible indirect. Their indirect will hit you on 2s because Mortarion will help you basically ignore any penalties. Okay. And then you can get the Lord of Virulence, and it's not even pick a unit it can see, it's just everything it can see. You get then +1 to hit.
+1 to hit, not to directly counteract the indirect. You also get ignores cover from it too.
Yeah.
However, back to the balanced data slate. So you can pick the -1 ballistic skill weapon skill, or you can pick -1 to your opponent's save characteristic.
Which is great into things like Custodes. Now, it won't affect invulnerable saves, just armor saves.
Yep. Or you can pick -1 to their leadership and objective control characteristics.
Okay. Good against like your Tyranid Horde, stuff like that, right? Where the other two things are probably not that useful.
Yeah.
On the whole,
I think the weapon skill, ballistic skill one's the easy pick, right?
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, because as you slowly get across the board, 9 inches contagion range.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you have to do is missile Mortarion in
Yeah.
and increase his contagion aura, whatever.
And I've seen a lot of people already moan about the Death Guard changes not being good enough.
It doesn't end there though, does it?
It doesn't end
there. The balanced data slate isn't all that's affected them.
Earlier we went through the changes on the points.
There's a lot of green right there.
Every unit apart from the Predator Annihilator and the Miasmic Maleficent and the Plague Surgeon have all gone down. Let's take a look at the key units. Mortarion is 325.
Okay, so he's gone down 55 points.
He doesn't hit particularly hard, but I tell you what he does with 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, ignoring all those negatives, is insane. And you can also push your contagion range out further as well, to 9 inches.
Yep.
It's amazing. 325 for this defensive profile.
45 points before someone corrects me. Yeah. That's an incredible change.
Plague Burst Crawler, 165.
Down 10.
So you're saving 30 points here.
Oh, great. Slam some Nurglings in for 35 points, yeah. Easy.
And you also get another unit because you've got Mortarion.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, because he's saving 45 points there. Death Shroud, let's look at those.
Okay.
Death Shroud are an amazing unit. I've
got 280, so they're middle top.
Middle
top. 280 here for 6.
Yeah, they are 250. So that's another point in Nurglings?
Yep.
Per unit of 6?
Stick 3 units of Nurglings in.
Yep, you're definitely taking 3 units of 6 Death Shroud, 3 Plague Bear, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. Right, Lord of Virulence, you're definitely going to take 2 of these at least. They're 100 points each.
Okay, down 15.
Typhus is 100 points.
Down 15.
Yeah, he's going in the list. Poxwalkers, 50 points for 10.
Down 10.
This is obscene. And I think a lot of top players will jump to Death Guard. And I think their win rate from 38%, I actually think if the right player base jumped to this faction, I could see it being a problem. And I could see it in the 60s. 50, high 55s I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I could see 55, definitely.
55 plus.
Yeah.
This is the biggest winner. And the reason why I fundamentally disagree with the change of -1 weapon skill, because you can't play around it. As a combat player, this matchup is not even playable. World Eaters.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Just don't bother.
Yeah.
And that's not a fun experience. I think other matchups will be fine. But specifically melee matchups, I think is going to really struggle. And if I'm going to be critical Games Workshop, I think this has been done to appease the Death Guard community that have been very, very, what's the word? Vocal about how bad their faction is, and they're not even the worst one.
No, like the changes here compared to the changes for Votann.
Yeah.
This is way above board than the Votann changes.
Or Admech, just 2%, performing better. Grey Knights, 2% better. World Eaters currently 3% better.
Yeah, it's too much.
I think so.
It's not in line with the other changes made to just get them to the 50%.
I think it will go way beyond. I think it'll be 55%.
Yeah.
And it could be higher if the player base jumps to it. Deathwatch. Any significant changes?
Yeah, so they had some balanced data slate changes.
Yeah.
They've got 3 ammunition stratagems.
Yeah.
They now only affect bolt weapons.
Okay.
Which are now listed in the balanced data slate.
Cool.
So you can't now use your extra range and AP on Desolation Marines.
Yeah.
You can't use it on your Hellblasters. All of that stuff.
Aggressors?
You can use it on your aggressors because they're bolt weapons, right?
Right.
So maybe there's a new shining unit in there for you. You can use it on your Terminators, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But it won't affect everything you've got in the army.
Cool.
But
it doesn't work on units that have devastating wounds, right?
That's right. So only the anti-keyword one doesn't work on devastating wounds weapons.
But the others do.
The others do.
Okay, so Deathwatch veterans, they're a very good unit. They're up by 10 points.
Up by 10 points. Yeah. Okay.
The Proteus kill team is 180 for 5.
That's up 15.
But the Spectre kill team is 105.
So down 5.
And then your bikes are down as well, and probably...
Good, because the bikes are terrible, and no, you should never take them.
Yeah.
Tell you that now.
So they're doing pretty well at a 51% win rate. Again, their Predators are coming down a little bit in terms of lethality. I still think they'll hold around a 51% win rate.
I think they could. The issue is that they were being carried by Space Marine units, not Deathwatch units.
So it's going to depend what happens to the Space Marines.
So it depends what happens with Space Marines, and we'll see. Because people are just using all these strats on all the Space Marine units.
Yeah. Right, Drukhari's up next, mate.
Okay.
So, any balanced data slate for Drukhari?
No.
Nope.
No, not at all.
So, key units to talk about, Drazar. So, first and foremost, all of the tough, gribbly stuff, like your Talos and Grotesques and all that lot, Chronoses haven't changed, okay? Apart from Rax, who have a slight decrease. Characters have come down, like your Archons come down.
How much is Lilith?
85?
She has gone down.
Oh, yeah, 85. She's down like 20 points.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Drazar's 90 points. Incubi are down a little bit. Scourges are down. Witches are down significantly. They're now 90.
Witches down 20 for the 10, yeah.
Which is good, because you want to run about 3 units of those, so that's 60 point saving.
They've benefited again twofold from the Overwatch change and,
Dev
of course, Dev Wounds. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ravager, one to talk about here. Right. 115 points.
This is the perfect example of where I said an army does not have an alternative.
Right, yeah.
I don't think Drukhari have another unit that can fulfill the Ravager role.
Yeah.
I think this increases, I think Jord talked about this recently, is because people were taking them with Inari.
Yes.
In the Eldar, and I don't think that's the correct way to treat this unit.
Yeah.
But I guess they have had some decreases elsewhere, maybe to make up for it.
Look at the Nova list. You've got triple Hornet and triple Ravagers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my Drukhari list actually went down 30 points in total, even with the Ravagers. So you're not really gaining units or anything?
Yeah.
I think their 43% win rate at the minute would probably see them drop.
Yeah. Because they need the Ravagers. Absolutely need them.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll stay similar just because of the Overwatch and the Dev Wounds and stuff. I don't see it necessarily changing.
No. Again, also, let's be honest, a lot of people that play Drukhari also play Aeldari.
Yeah.
So a lot of that player base can go, just take Ynnari.
Yeah.
And I'll get all the benefits
without...
Yeah. So pure Drukhari fans out there, come on. You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. I can't believe I'm even
If
saying
you
this.
keep losing games, you'll get a buff.
Or just moan about it loads on Reddit, apparently.
Moan about it loads on Reddit. That also works, apparently.
Don't do that. That's not cool.
No.
Right. Genestealer Cults.
Okay.
Big one here.
Yes.
Whoo, baby.
So this is a balanced data slate change.
Before we move on, Jordan, is Disgusting Resilient podcast still in the chat?
Well, he has been. Yes, he is. Yeah.
Did he agree with my synopsis of Death Guard?
He did say that he doesn't think Mortarion needed to go up. He did say, I got 200 points off my list, a new army rule, and my biggest threats have just lost 300 points. It's a 500-point swing, and I've got another army-wide rule.
Yeah. I think Aiden's on like a 90% win rate right now.
Yeah.
He is going to be obscene.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be crazy. So, I think also I had comment messages from Death Guard Dave also agreeing with the my comments earlier. And these are people that just play Death Guard.
Yeah.
Have tried to remain passionate about it. Don Hewson, probably another great player who plays Death Guard, I would hope would agree with me. But anyway, we'll see. So, Genestealer Cults, let's take a little look at them. Now, obviously, at the minute, they're on a 63% win rate.
Yes. Balance change.
Yeah, the balance change.
So, now it's a 5+
to come back.
+1 if you're battle line.
Yeah, so before it was basically if you were battle line, you got +3, you just came back. You didn't need to roll, and your aberrants and your Atalan Jackals came back on 4s.
That's right.
Now it is +1 if you battle line and +1 if you died in turns 1 and 2.
That's right, yes.
So you could come back on 3s if you battle line, or 4s if your aberrants and obviously characters and your vehicles can't come back. Aberrants now are 370.
That's a 40-point increase for the 10 of them. This verges on putting them in the you're probably not taking them territory.
You're not.
And if you do take them, quite often you take them with a Biophagus.
Who's 60 points?
Who's gone up 10 as well. So that's a 50-point increase.
And you would only ever take 1 unit of aberrants, and you would only take that with the enhancement. Prowling Agent.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know which one it is. Inscrutable Cunning is my guess, the 30.1. I think the Meticulous Planner is the Vect.
Okay, might be right. I thought it was, Prowling Agent's when you move away,
yeah. That's the one, yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It could be that one. Why not just put that enhancement up?
Yeah.
That's the fix there, rather than Aberrants going up. Aberrants did not need to go up.
No.
In this faction.
They were tough, but
they didn't do much.
They're slow, and they only do combat.
And they never make combat a second time, even if they do come back. So, yes, I don't think they needed to go up. I don't think we'll see them.
I don't think so either. Not with the other changes.
No, Abominant didn't change. Ridge Runners went up a little bit just to stop the... But people only take a couple just to get the extra AP.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Acolyte Hybrids are now 170 for 10. This is the demolition unit.
10 points more.
To be clear, you do get the demolition charges back because it is a fresh unit, but how many points are they more?
10 more.
So they were
10, 160.
So they're now...
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong unit.
Acolyte Hybrids.
20 points more.
20-point increase for 10.
Okay.
Most armies would run 4 units of these.
Yeah.
So that's an 80-point increase.
Okay.
You're then going to take 2 Primuses and 2 Nexuses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Nexus is 60 points.
Okay, up 10.
So
that's 20 for both Nexuses.
Yeah. Primus is now 90.
Up 20, so that's 40 for both Primuses. So that's up 60.
Plus 80.
Plus 80, yeah, 140 points.
Okay. Atalan Jackals have also gone up. They were verging on never taken anyway. Yeah, but you can now at least set them up on the table.
Yes, yeah. So they've had a change where it has to be holding within 9 of a board edge, so you can actually set the unit up.
Yeah, because they had a weird interaction where you could fit them wholly within 6 inches of a blip, but then as soon as you put in the radius of being within 6 inches of the board edge, it didn't work. So now you can fit up a 10-strong unit, but I don't think we'll take them.
They've gone up, haven't they?
They've gone up, and also they lost the ability to double mortal.
Yeah.
They also don't benefit from the stratagem to be shot, so they can't be shot either.
Yep, that's true.
Also, Genestealer Cults, they used to spam the ability to, with the battle tactic stratagems, they used to spam the ability to not be shot. I think that's not a battle tactic now.
No.
And also the setting up 2 units within 3 inches to get the demolition charges was also...
and it's not a battle tactic,
It's not a battle tactic, so you can't ever get 2 units set up at the same time.
Yeah.
It still means you can go up, come down with a unit each turn.
Yeah, it does.
But that's going to happen over 4 turns of the game, maybe 5 turns, rather than just in 2 turns and you're going to lose your army.
Yeah.
I don't think the change to this will be significant regarding the units coming back, because I don't think that was the problem.
No, it's the innate damage to begin with.
The Neophytes.
Yes.
180 for 20.
Because that's 20 points increase on the full 20.
Because a lot of people were taking 120.
Yeah.
So that is, what's that? 120 point increase if you took 6 units.
Yep.
The Saboteurs also up.
10 points, I think.
Again, I think Genestealer Cults, I don't like seeing those aberrants go up. I think it's...
Well, this is the thing. Like, if you took a unit of aberrants with the infiltrate thing, you drop them and your army's probably fine, right?
You do, yeah.
But I will say, I think the changes, especially the battle tactic one and the bringing them back, should have significant impact.
Yeah.
But also, they're less prone to Overwatch, less prone to devastating wounds. So...
I think they're going to stick at a 60% win rate.
I think I could see it, yeah.
But I think we're just going to see the same carbon copy list all the time.
Yes.
When we're going to see less variants, which I don't think is great with them. No. So I still think they'll be strong. Okay, Grey Knights. Big winner, I think, actually, from this data slate.
I like Grey Knights,
Haven't changed too much in terms of their rules, but they do get significant point drops.
They had one balance change.
Oh, did they?
Yes. So they've basically their stratagem to arrive and essentially become lone operative has now changed from a battle tactic to a strategic ploy. Cool. So it can't be doubled up on with the Grandmaster. Right,
so let's go through some of the biggest changes. Brother Terminators, 420.
Okay, so 450, down 30.
Nemesis Grandmaster, 200 points.
Down 45 points.
Dread Knight, 185.
Down 35 points.
Inceptors, 270 for 10.
270 for 10, so they're down 50 points.
Drago's 125, I don't know what even.
Drago, Caldor, where is he?
30 point decrease.
Why is he 125 now?
My boy!
That's crazy.
The Primarch of the Grey Knights is back.
Unless you're Jordan, you can't roll the 6-inch charge anyway.
Okay.
That's cool.
Paladins, 450.
Down 60 points. 410.
Purifiers. Now, you're never taking a 10-man squad because obviously you can only ever take 4 heavy weapons, but their points went up crazy because they could shoot indirectly when the last kind of points changes fixed indirect a bit. 130 now for 5.
Down 20.
Okay. And Strike Squad's 125 for 5.
Down 10.
Cool. So nice little drops there.
And Land Raiders down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
In that, they need Land Raiders for some actual anti-tank because unfortunately, Grey Knights hit vehicles like a feather.
Yes.
But everything else pretty good. They're on a 40% win rate. I think this is a sleeper faction.
They do have more feathers now.
They do.
In the army.
I think they could go up to 45% win rate from here.
Yeah, I could see a 45. I mean, these are such significant changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun. I love using them. I really do. So, yeah. Jordan, you had your hand up. What would you like to say to us?
So we've had a super chat from Nashi. He said, thanks for putting this on. Also, how big of an impact will the dev wounds change have on T-Sun's psychic? Obviously, we'll cover Thousand Suns probably towards the end.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's something we can discuss when we get to Thousand Suns, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed.
Awesome.
Right. Imperial Knights, baby.
Okay.
Big changes on Towering, big changes on Overwatch.
Yeah.
Right. Helverin's up a little bit.
Yes.
Canis Rex is down because of the CP change.
Cool.
Can't Overwatch.
Yep.
For free anyway. Or can't Overwatch full stop.
The Warglave's up, I think, by 10.
Yeah, something like that. But most everything else has stayed the same.
Okay.
So they're currently on a 57% win rate.
Okay, so what we're hoping for here is that the Towering change and the Overwatch change will set them back a bit.
Yeah.
Overwatch, I think, is pretty significant. I'm pretty sure Knights would literally just doing it every turn.
Yeah. And
then the visibility, I think, will be pretty impactful.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain. I feel like this is going to drop.
Mm-hmm. Is the Gallant the close combat one?
The close combat is the Gallant, I believe, yes.
Also, did their Bondsman ability change? Is that stayed the same? Is there a balanced data slate for Bondsmans?
I don't think there's a balanced data slate change for Imperial Knights.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know if I saw something about that, or maybe it might have been in a glossary.
Maybe.
Anyway, so let us know if there is. So we've got Next up, that's Imperial Knights. So we reckon they're going to be Imperial Knights 57%.
Was it like 53 maybe?
Yeah, I could probably see that being correct. Yeah,
not a huge change, but definitely
okay, cool.
decrease.
Let me just bring up any questions from the chat, Jordan.
Just that Dan Bob has said, what were the overall thoughts on the towering changes? We discussed all the actual balance data slate changes at the start, so I'd recommend probably going in around 10 minutes in a video. That's probably where we started to talk about some of these changes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So yeah, but everyone is just discussing the factions as they come along, and people waiting for their factions to actually show up.
Yeah,
nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Towering is I think going to be more impactful than people perhaps realise. But obviously all terrain sets are different on the table, right? So in some cases where there is a terrain piece that you can basically put the base of the model on the lip of the terrain piece and then see through it, that's going to be pretty big. So maybe on like your Games Workshop style terrain where all of it has lips, you could see some changes.
So there is a change on Imperial Knights.
Oh yes, there is.
I'm glad I actually got extremely worried then.
Right.
I can probably imagine you know what I was thinking.
Yes.
I haven't gone mad. Bondsman abilities changed to some Quistorian models have a Bondsman ability tag with a Bondsman in your command phase. One or more models from your army with a Bondsman ability can use that ability. For each one that does select one friendly Armiger model within 12 of that model, you cannot select an Armiger model that has already been affected by a Bondsman ability until the start of your next command phase. The Armiger model you selected is affected by the Bondsman ability. This means the Bondsman abilities do not affect the big ones that gave it to them.
That's massive.
Yeah, big, great. And that's how it always should have been.
Absolutely massive, yeah.
Jordan, you have your hand up?
Yeah, we've had one super chat from Jind Singh. He said, Big Knights are dead and no bondsman on big guys. So obviously just covering what you guys said.
Yeah.
And also, Tattoo Tabletop has just gifted 10 Vanguard Tactics memberships.
Thank you.
Absolute legend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, if you are a member, obviously don't forget to hit the renewal at the end if you do enjoy the content, because we do post actually quite a bit of content now, don't we, Steve?
Yeah, it's 3 videos a week you get as members.
Exactly, and we also have a live every Friday.
Yep. So if you like kind of this style of chat, then every Friday we do another live.
Yep.
It's a bit more, obviously, less people, so we can really go into your comments a lot more as well.
Yeah.
We also give you a chance to ask your questions before time as well. So Thunder Stomp is also now an epic deed, so you can't, probably not a battle tactic.
Repeat those mortal wounds.
Trophy Claim is to 2 CPs.
So this was +1 to wound against an enemy target.
2 CPs now.
Yeah.
And then the Valiant Last Stand stratagem.
Fight on death.
2 CPs.
Good.
So where do we think, with this involved now, where do we think their win rate is going to be? Because, like we said, currently they're at a 57. I think we could see them down at a 52% win rate.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think 52 is realistic.
Yeah, if anybody's watching all this, please make a note of what me and Michael are saying. It'd be interesting to see how on the money or off the money we are that time round. Okay, cool.
Before we move on, we have had another 10 Vanguard Tactics memberships gifted from Nashi. So, absolute legend. Thank you for obviously doing that. And he's also become a lieutenant. So he's also joined the members.
Yeah, nice. And when you do become a member, click the Become a VT member option, okay? We will be removing the lieutenant one and the captain soon.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
just click Become a VT member. The others will be going, all right? We just thought it was easier to have one type rather than lots of different ones. Keep it simple. Right, Leagues of Votann up next. Their balance change, Michael. Is it a big one?
It's not huge.
Okay.
It's not huge. So they used to choose one enemy unit at the start of the game, and if they killed it, they got a bunch of command points based on whether it was dead by a certain command phase.
Okay.
And in addition to that, they would put 2 grudge tokens on it, which meant +1 to hit and wound.
Okay.
Now they choose 4 enemy units in a strike force game.
Okay.
To get that +1 to hit and wound against.
Okay.
So it's pretty significant. It's going to improve their damage output quite a bit.
Yep.
But maybe there's some data issues that could be the cause.
It is the data sheets, I think, and that's why they've had massive points decreases.
Yeah.
And points decreases across the board. The key, well, let's be honest, when I say key units, they don't have many, do they? So, Hearthguard are probably the best unit.
Yeah.
They're 300 for 10.
So they're down 30. Great.
Berserkers are also a great unit at 200 for 10.
Okay, down 70.
We're talking like, these are massive drops.
Yeah.
Thunderkin, great unit again, actually. 160. 160?
160?
Sorry, 150 probably. The ink cartridge probably.
That's 40 points decrease.
Yeah.
Thunderkin.
Warriors 110.
Cool. Down 25.
They're okay. The Hecaton 27. This boy. 225.
225. Down 20 points.
Okay. Yeah. Pioneers 90.
Down 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some overall, like the Sagittars are down 20
good.
as well.
Yeah.
So let's little look at their win rates right now. Leagues of Votann, they're currently performing 3% worse than Death Guard. They're at a 35% win rate.
All right.
Do we see these in the above 40s yet? Is it enough for the player base to move back to it that have probably moved off it?
Probably not.
No, and that's, I think, the issue.
The fundamental problem with Votann, and it's not an easy fix, is they don't have enough options.
Yeah.
You know, their units are limited by what kits they actually do have.
Yeah.
So you can't fill in a gap when it comes to the meta by taking something else because you don't have anything else.
And like, if you look at their Thunderkin, a lot of the weapons that they have are very limited by certain ranges because of the lore that they're assigned to. So they don't have great range. Berserkers have to make combat and they're very squishy. Hearthguard aren't mobile enough to make combat. Their shooting's okay. If you want to put them in a Hecaton, you can only take units of 5, but they're probably best off in units of 10s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you want to get the reroll wounds, and that's only, the Hecaton only affects the reroll wounds when you get out from shooting, not combat. Because it only then synergizes with one phase of the game. So again, we'll see, but I would like to see them at the 40%, but I can't see them going much beyond that.
Yeah.
Yes, Jordan.
Super Silver Junior has just become a VT member, so massive thank you to you. And remember, we have a live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. British Standard Time, where we'll be doing a similar thing to this, but on the members page.
How many people we got watching?
580 so far.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
This is, I think, our best ever performing live stream.
It is,
guys,
but we've only got 190 likes, so come on, guys, let's pump up them numbers.
Come on, let's at least reach the Leagues of Votann win rate.
Yeah.
Well, so we're going to go down in likes?
Yeah,
no, we're not at 35 yet.
35, you know.
Okay, cool.
Right, so Necrons up next.
Okay.
Strong faction, sleeper faction, I think.
I agree.
And I think the reason why we don't see more Necron players is because of Eldar and Genestealer Cult.
Yes.
Because Cult Demolition Charges can completely, because it's got Blast and D6+3.
Yeah.
The Genestealer Cult just nuke Necrons. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with Genestealer Cult going down a little bit, Eldar again coming down a smidge, I think Necrons are a huge winner from this data slate.
49% already.
I could see them creeping up to. Anyway, let's go over the changes.
Yeah.
Any rules changes?
No.
Okay, so it's just points. Crypto rules, people spam, right? Because you can do the whole mechanics.
Yeah, bring them back, and then you get your Feel of Pain again.
Because
they
are
technically not attached to a unit.
Because it's part of the unit.
Yeah.
Right. They're 60 points.
Yep. Cool. 20 points more than they were.
I think they should be 100.
I think they should just change the rule in the balance data slate, if I'm frank.
Probably should. You're right. Yeah. I think it needs a rule change.
Or an errata for the Necrons Codex, something like that.
So you can't bring back a unit that's
dead.
That assigned but dead, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Warriors, the unit they were assigned to are now 220 for 20.
They've gone down 20 points.
So there's no change.
No.
What you lost from the crypto rules, you gain back with these. Lich Guard though, 230.
Okay, so Lich Guard have massively gone up. So they've gone up 40 points. Lich Guard.
Low cost heavy destroyers, 150.
These have gone up 15.
The Reanimators, 105.
That's gone up a fair bit. Canoptic Reanimators, that's gone up
10 points.
10, yeah.
But Scorpec Destroyers, 200.
Okay, so they've gone down 20.
Okay. What about Praetorians, actually? 240 for Triac Praetorians.
They better have gone down, because I love them.
Over there.
270, so down 30 points.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Transcendent Catan is 300. Must be a change, Transcendent Catan.
Yeah, up 20.
Okay, but I think the other Catans have stayed the same. Do they have any ways to manipulate CP, any battle tactics in such like?
They do. They don't really have any useful battle tactics. There's one for re-rolling wounds for shooting and stuff.
Okay.
But the reanimate trigger one is not a battle tactic. So they're losing the ability to do the double reanimate.
And who was doing that for them?
That's the Overlord doing that for them.
Yeah. So you could just take 3 Overlords?
You could take, an Overlord, and then you could reanimate with 1 unit and then reanimate with the Overlord's unit as well.
Yeah.
But now you can't do that.
Yeah. Pretty strong. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Necrons, what do we think? 49% win rate?
50, 51.
I could see them going up, yeah.
Yeah.
52 maybe even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Orks. Orks.
Yeah, good job.
Orks.
I don't think I've ever heard you do the orcs
no,
before.
I try to refrain from doing it. So 47% at the moment.
Okay.
Now Ben Jones is playing this faction.
Nice.
So that is going to shoot up to 70%.
Well, with the way he rolls.
Because he does not lose games.
No.
Ben Jones, one of our VT players, won best Aeldari last year.
Yeah.
He's played a little bit of Aeldari, but he's moved away from them now, and
because it's no challenge.
Yeah, he's playing Orks, which is great to see. So the Beast Boss is 100 points.
Okay.
He's up 20.
Up 20.
Yeah. There's a lot of not changes. I'm going to say that now.
Yes.
But there's little bits of ups, little bits of downs. Mm-hmm. Boys have stayed the same. Death Copters are down significantly. Yep. 30 for. I think they're down 30 points for 6.
Yep.
Flash Gits have remained the same. Beast Snaggers, is it? Beast Boss and Squigosaurus stay the same. Beast Snagger Boys, 105. I don't think they've changed.
They're the same, yeah.
Gaz hasn't changed. Killer Cans haven't changed. Looters are 50 for 5.
Looters are 55 for 5.
So a lot of people taking the big unit, 150.
Yes, you say 15 points.
Mega Knobs, 180 for 6.
Okay, it's gone down 20 for the 6.
Okay. Mech Guns, though, these have gone up. So they're 55 for 1.
10 points more per. So 30 for the unit of 3.
And I think 90 points is... A lot of people take... When I say a lot, I mean Aaron was taking 9 of those. 6 to 9, I think, is the sweet spot if you're going to take any. Moz Scragbad, he stayed the same.
Okay.
Squighog Boys have also stayed the same because they're quite a popular unit. Storm Boys popular stayed the same. So I think the popular units have remained the same.
Knobs, though, went down, didn't they?
Yeah, Knobs are amazing. I played against Benzet Orks army like 6 times over the weekend, and Knobs are incredible.
Yeah, they've gone down 10 for 5.
That's great. 20 points for 20. I think
so strong.
You just take 30 of them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the conversations just came back to Knobs. More Knobs.
I mean, Ben would say that though.
Yeah, he would. Yes, Jordan. What?
So we've had a super chat from Fixed Bayonets.
Yep.
Right, we all need to do our impression of a war because that is what the super chat is. So
No.
Warm up your vocal pipes, guys.
Just mute the microphone now. Mute.
That was a very jovial war.
Yeah.
The way you were like,
wah ha ha ha.
Wah ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's that Orc band.
Don't do that at tournaments. Don't do it. Okay? It's not cool. Right, Orks, 47% win rate. What do we think?
Look, if you go to a narrative event, do it, but it's a little bit
off-putting
at an event. So what are they on currently?
49% win rate.
47.
47, yeah.
47. I don't see it necessarily changing.
No.
I don't think there's significant enough changes there. It could maybe go up just because some of the things above them have decreased in.
Well, I can tell
ability.
You this one thing.
Yeah.
They don't play into Death Guard very well now.
Well, they're a combat army, aren't they?
Yes, and they don't like Overwatch, and they don't like Flamers, and they don't like being fight first against, and they don't like indirect either. So,
or Battleshock.
No, definitely don't like Battleshock. So I think Orks will probably remain the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because all of the Death Guard players will come in and just beat them.
They will.
Yeah.
So we've got a few pages left. Space Marines.
Most of them are Space Marines, aren't they?
Yeah. Space Marines. Okay, Jordan, your Assault Marines haven't changed.
No.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I actually don't think they needed to change.
No, they're a strong unit, to be fair.
They're fine.
Aggressor's down, though, 100 points.
Okay, down 10.
Sorry, they're not down 100 points, because that'll be
10 points for some aggressors.
Still overcosted. Blade Guard Vets, they're down, which was a surprise. They're like down 10 for 3. The Brutalis Dreadnoughts down significantly, 175.
Wow, so that's a 45-point decrease.
Desolation Marines are now squad sizes of 5. This means that those people that was taking a apothecary, giving it Bolter Discipline.
Bolter Discipline, that's the one.
In just nuking everything on the planet and basically just being a massive crutch, like they've been in the previous edition since they've brought out. They're 200 points for 5.
Cool.
Good. Desolation Marines, see you later.
If you've got 30, just send some our way, and then we can use some every now and then.
We've got 10. We don't need any more.
We've got 10. Yeah, we don't need any more.
I've got 10.
Just, do you know what? Go down your local club and just give 5 away to somebody.
Yeah.
Make their day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't whinge that you bought 30. That's on you.
Yeah, it is on you. That's straight up on you. Okay, so...
Because I certainly didn't go, oh, them Desolation Marine models, I can't wait to buy and paint them. Yes, Jordan, do it your hand up.
We had a super chat from Slugger Not. He said, I don't understand how the Necrons win rate will increase. Sounds like mostly point increase, lots of double reanimate, no direct rules changes. In brackets, they put I'm new here. So what was your thoughts around that?
Oh, well, we just kind of said like the Necrons, because of their predators are coming down a little bit, we might see an increase because of that in the things that is holding up the army, the warriors in the crypto thralls.
The reanimation hasn't changed, the crypto thrall war, the technomancer didn't go up, so that combo is still there and well alive.
Yeah.
But you know, we've lost the cult are going to be less effective.
Yeah.
The Desolation Marines.
Yeah.
Can't white warrior squads.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot less of that. So. Their ability to control the game is why we're rating them so highly. Yeah,
just ability to play the mission. So your Lancers is gone up, the Reaper's gone down.
Okay.
Infiltrators are up, Intercessors are down. And we're talking like 5 or 10 points here and there, like subtle little changes. Rebute Gulliman, though, is 380.
Okay,
Again,
he's gone up.
Holding up factions, basically.
Yeah, so people are going to complain that Desolation Squads was the only thing keeping Space Marines in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They may well have contributed to the higher percentage.
Yeah.
But that's not good for the game overall.
No.
So we'd rather decrease points on other units and fix those guys.
Yeah.
Because Desolation Marines were probably the reason some of these factions have such low win rates.
Yes.
Sisters, we look at Guards,
Drukhari,
Admech.
Yeah. And where are they right now anyway? Space Marines? Are they even?
Space Marines.
Adeptus Astartes, 43%.
Right.
I think overall we will see them probably...
Up a couple?
Yeah, the Hellstrike's gone up, the Thunderstrike's gone up, Marneus Calgos come down. So I think it's a bit of a wash.
Yeah.
But they hate devastating wounds because they don't have feel no pains.
This is true. It's true.
They hate Genestealer Cult. So you look at the top predators, Eldar absolutely smash Marines, Genestealer Cult smash Marines, Imperial Knights smash Marines, Adeptus Custodes, Thousand Sons, Demons. They are all massive predators of the Space Marines.
Yes.
So I'd like to see them at the 50% win rate.
I think we could. So battle tactics wise, they're an army that still has 3 fantastic battle tactics in there, including Armour of Contempt.
And they've got loads of access to it, yeah.
You got those captains in there for the 0 command points.
Yeah.
And of course, because some of those vector abilities only affect battle tactics, people are likely to take less of them. Yeah. And therefore you're more likely to get use out of Armour of Contempt, etc.
And let's be honest, the way that the game is written right now, how often are people actually a Space Marine on here, percentage-wise? How often are they an Adeptus Astartes? Because you can still take the Gladius Task Force, because the 46% people playing Space Wolves, they ain't taking the Space Wolf detachment, I don't think. They're probably playing Gladius. The people playing Blood Angels are playing Gladius.
It's very true.
But when you take these other, like Deathwatch, you are then accessing other units. Why not have extra toys to play with? It's only Ultramarines where you can get Rebute would be people that are in this Adeptus Astartes.
So this is mostly going to be lore fans or, favourites of specific, like Fists or Salamanders or whatever.
Raven Guard,
they're going to be playing this, which aren't necessarily going to be the most competitive players. When it comes to the scene. So you can kind of see why the percentage is like that. Yeah,
so Space Wolves up next.
Before we move on, sorry mate,
yes.
We have had quite a few memberships gifted.
Awesome.
So we've had another 5 gifted from Nashi. I'm pretty sure it's Nashi, it's GN4SHY, so I'm assuming the 4 stands for an A. And then we've also had another 20 memberships gifted by Toilet Dice.
Oh yes, thank you Toilet Dice.
All of you who have gifted today, and obviously if you have been gifted, just make sure to thank the person who gifted you the membership. But Space Wolves.
Space Wolves up next yet, so...
right. There's no change in the balance data slate.
No.
However, I think they were in desperate need of one.
Agreed.
Because their detachment is the worst one in the game.
Yeah.
It's the worst one in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think, 99% of players will just play Gladius Task Force.
Can you imagine?
Because the Space Wolf one is just so bad.
Do you know what I wish they did with Death Guard?
What?
I reckon they should have been like, you got to kill a unit to unlock sticky objectives.
Yeah.
You got to kill another type of unit to gain -1 weapon skill.
Yeah, but if you do multiple at the same time, you can only pick one of the abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do it all with characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aeldari, you only get your fate dice after you've killed 50% of your opponent's army. Yeah. Orks can only...
If a character has killed an enemy vehicle, and only at the end of the battle round do they then unlock the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good. Unfortunately, no balance data slate change for these guys.
No. So just continue playing Gladius Task Force.
Yes.
But, in all seriousness, jokes aside, Bjorn, down.
Cool.
Logan.
Is this the sleigh?
Of course he's on this sleigh.
Santa Claus.
Why would you ever take Logan in any other situation?
So how many points is he?
180.
Right, he's gone down 55 points.
Yes, insane. Thunderwolf Cav, already good, and now 180 for 6.
Okay, down 20.
Ragnar, 90.
Down 15.
Murderfang, Ledge, 170.
Down 20.
Wolfen.
Yeah.
For 5, 80 points.
Probably still not worth it.
No. How much are they down by?
20.
They're still 80 points too expensive.
Yeah.
Wolfen, you were done bad. Just criminal.
Right. One day we can hope that the data sheets change, but the only realistic place that's going to happen is in the Codex.
Yeah.
So who knows when that's going to be. Poor old Wolfen. Yeah. Poor old Wolfen.
Somebody was obviously badge touched by Wolfen one day.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think they were like, yeah.
0 OC for you.
0 OC.
Those big old...
1 damage.
Those big hammers.
Yeah, you got little Thor's hammers. 1 damage.
You get that foam one I've got for cosplay.
Yeah.
Actually gives you an armor save. Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool. Tau. So anyway, Space Wolves. I can't really. I mean, they'd probably increase a little bit. To be fair, they're at 46%.
How
win
are they
rate.
even on a 46 compared to Space Marines?
Because they just get.
I guess they just take the Gladius, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I reckon 46%. We could probably see them.
Yeah.
Up a little bit, but not 48 maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Tau Empire.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna put this out there at a 38% win rate right now.
Yeah.
This faction is about to go through the roof with these points changes.
Yeah.
I could see this faction having a significant increase. Now, I'm not talking about, when I say through the roof, I don't mean they're going to become a 60%er. I mean they're going to have a significant increase on their current performance.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at the key units in their max squad sizes. Broadsides, 270.
So broadsides currently are 330.
So down 60 points.
Down 60 points.
Crisis battlesuits, 360.
Down 30 points.
Hammerhead gunship, 130.
Down 15 points.
Riptide in the middle, 180.
Down 55 points.
Storm Surge, 400.
Down 65 points.
Just have a little look at strikes as well. They're at 80.
Yeah, down 20.
I mean, these are brilliant changes for this faction.
18 crisis suits. You're doing it, aren't you?
How many points are you saving from that?
So you save 30 across one unit.
So that's 90 points.
So that's 90 points you're saving.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
And then you can save a whole bunch of points on your broadsides as well.
You are saving. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep. They're currently at a 38. I think I'd see them at a 50%.
I could see them hit 50, yeah.
And they've also got a great player base as well. So
yeah.
I think some people will certainly be looking at Tau as a good hotness. Yeah. And again, they don't like devastating wounds.
No.
With devastating wounds out the way, I think this faction is going to start seeing some real play. Yes, Jordan, you want to say something?
Yeah, we've got a super chat from Fixed Bayonets. He said, "I seen a noise marine with a vacuum cleaner." I don't know. That's all he put.
What?
Thanks for that super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like it. Right, Thousand Suns up next. Okay.
So what's their win rate?
53%.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Now, we didn't actually get round to this because we ran out of time.
Yes.
But I'm going to pick out some units.
Don't tell them that.
Araman, 130.
He's gone up 20.
Good. Araman on disc will be roughly the same. Exalted Sorcerer, 100.
Up 10.
Okay. Infernal Master, 90.
Up 15.
Magnus the Red, 440.
Up 30.
Mutilative Vortex Beef, 165.
Only up 20. Yeah, only up 20.
Okay, Rubric Marines, which are stupid with flamers, 105.
So they're up 10.
Okay. Terminators, 215.
Up 10.
So people always took a unit of 20, didn't they? So they're losing 20 points there. 3 units of 10 rubrics. So there were 2 10 for 10. They were up there, up 20, so probably losing 60. I reckon you're going to lose around 200 points of Thousand Suns.
You probably lose all the demon allies.
Yeah.
Realistically, because you probably would, competitively, you might sprinkle some flame as a changeling or blue scribes in there.
Yeah.
For mission play, you might lose those.
Or you
probably
just
end
drop
up
the
dropping
Terminators.
a Rubric Marine unit.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you keep the rest, but I think it's still very strong. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that the disc guys can still go in rhinos.
Well, they just put it on the top of the rhino, don't they?
Like a surfboard.
Like a surfboard.
Yeah, like the Volkswagen Volkswagen camper vans.
Exactly.
Put them on top.
Put them on top.
Yeah, I don't like that. That should have got changed. But that being said, they can't Overwatch 3 times. I am happy about that.
Yeah. They do have one battle tactic, which obviously with the way their rules, they've got like 2 ways of doing things for free, which is reroll hits and wounds with psychic.
Oh, that's good.
Attacks. So they've still got that up their sleeve.
That's still good.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. I think they'll be good. I think Thousand Suns, 53%. I can see them staying there.
We had a question about how Dev Wounds affects them.
Yeah.
It makes them much better into Custodes, that's for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Other than that, it's not a huge change. There aren't enough hordes in the meta to really neuter the fact that the wounds don't carry over.
Yeah, they're good into G Cult.
Yeah.
Because of all the flamers.
Yeah.
Because that one unit that can drop down within 3, you can just flame away. Flame away. Yeah, on Overwatch. So.
Good riddance.
Thousand Suns are a good counter to G Cult.
Yeah. So I don't see them necessarily changing.
I can't see them dropping.
But then I guess 53% is fine.
I think they'll actually go up a little bit.
Yeah, potentially.
I could see them going up to 55. Right, Tyranids have obviously got their entire new codex now.
Yes.
We would recommend you go with the Tyranids points here, not in the codex. Okay, so although the codex is new, just use these points, okay? Yeah, so we're looking at, well, it's difficult to know what's actually changed.
Yeah.
Because of the codex. I think we need to just forget about the codex points.
Yeah, so let's pick some of the important units here. So I personally would like to look at the Norns, because I feel like they were quite strong at the codex points.
310 and 290. Assimilator is 310, 290.
So the Assimilator's gone up 10, I believe.
Okay.
And the other one up 5.
Right.
That's not huge.
No.
They're pretty good.
They are very good, yeah.
For those points.
Swarmlord's 270. The Swarmlord.
Gone up 50 points, I think, the Swarmlord.
What? He's up 50 points.
Oh no, he's 250 right now, so
okay,
he's
up
not
20.
changed. Hive Tyrant.
Yeah, he's 270 now, so he's gone 20.
Oh, he's up 20.
Hive Tyrant, 235.
Up 15.
Okay, the Maleceptor.
Okay.
Because he's a problem.
Yeah.
He's 170 now.
Up 5.
Right. Well, he's got off lightly, hasn't
he? Yeah. Exocrines.
Exocrines, yeah, cool. Let's have a look at them. They are 135. They haven't changed.
They haven't changed.
Genestealers, though.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these because they're probably the same for G Cult. 85 for 5. 170
down
for
5.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You're saving 10 points. You're still not taking them, I don't think. What about what's his face? The who leads them? Brother
Broodlord.
That's the one.
Yeah, 100 here.
Brother Captain Broodlord.
Brother Captain Broodlord, yeah. Brother Broodlord.
Brother Broodlord.
He's 90.
Okay, it's down 10.
Okay. No, Gargoyles haven't changed. Pyrovores haven't changed. Raveners haven't changed. What about what's the
Raveners
Tyranid Warriors
might have changed in their unit composition. What does it say in there?
Raveners are 3 and 6.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Ripper Swarms.
Oh, okay. Well, if you think of one thing and say another, I'm going to be a bit confused.
I
mate.
know.
They're 1, 2, and 3, and they're 20, 40, and 60.
So you can spend 20 points on a base of Rippers.
Okay, yeah.
with deep strike.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll just do an objective over there.
Slap 3 in every list.
Check the Tyrann effects as well, because people are saying about that in the comments.
2, 4, 5.
Okay, that's gone up like 45 points.
Good. That acid spray can do one, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a little excessive to me, but the Codex is very good. That's right, I only run the little guys anyway.
You didn't like the little ones.
And they've actually gone down. I think Gargoyles went down a little.
No, they stayed the same. 75.
Okay, fine. I'll shut up then.
Yeah, good. Right, so Nid Warriors, though, were bioweapons. This is what I'm interested in, because I like these. 85 for 3.
Is that the melee ones?
Yeah.
So they've gone down 5. The ranged ones?
Stayed the same.
So the ranged ones are cheaper than the melee ones?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Neither do I, because they're just much better.
They are. You're right.
Okay. Cool.
Spore mines are 55 for 3.
I think they're 50 here.
Right, let's have a look at who's the guy that spits them out his butt.
The Biovore?
Yeah.
I don't think that's where they come from, but 65 here for 1.
75.
Okay.
Because I think you just take 3 of them and just spit them out your butt and just do secondaries.
I would have loved to see a change in the balance data slate.
What about Death Leap? Yeah, so that they couldn't do actions.
So they couldn't do actions.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Death Leaper, 70 points.
Really?
I know, that is obscenely cheap.
For a lone op with a 4-up invuln?
Yeah, who fights first?
Who fights first?
And has all the other rules you want.
He's gone down. It's 80 here. What about a Lictor?
Well, probably even cheaper, mate, because let's be honest, he's not as good as he. So
75, it's just a bit further down.
Lictor, 60. Yeah, it's way too cheap.
15 point Neurolictor?
Oh, mate, stop making me look at these.
Where is the Neurolictor?
65.
I haven't got one.
You haven't got one, mate.
Yeah.
So their win rate's at 51%. I can see that going up.
I could see 55 easily.
Higher.
With Tyranids, yeah. They're just, yeah. And obviously they've got all the range of different detachments, which means that all the people playing against them can't build for everything.
However, if you want to understand how to beat Tyranids fully, then you can join our masterclass, and the link below to join the waiting list, you also get 20% off, is in the description below. And we're going to be covering how to beat every single detachment, the playstyle, what you can expect, how these effects now, because we've been waiting for this to really start to put the masterclass together so that we can actually talk about it with some really good points. We're going to put different lists on the table. We can show you how it's going to deploy, what you can expect it to do on the table. So it's not just for Tyranid players that want to use the Codex. It's actually to help the other, how the many factions there are, play against Tyranids, because we don't want people to feel gotcha'd, because unfortunately with the rate in which Codexes are going to drop, and also the amount of detachments per one, it's going to be incredibly overwhelming to understand what all these different things can do and what you need to remember. So we're going to give you the take-home information so you can actually feel confident against playing all these different armies, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, look, the most important thing right now is we're on to World Eaters.
Yes.
Do you know what? I've been in the World Eaters forum of late.
Yeah?
These guys are awesome. There's just so much positivity.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, I'm finding this, working well. What do you think? It's great.
I think
they're on a 41% win rate. The poor
people who like Khorne and World Eaters
are good.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
They're just good people.
Yeah. Maybe when you're not with them, they go out back and just scream.
Maybe.
And they sacrifice stuff at home, like chickens.
I don't do that. And I do like my World Eaters.
Can I confess?
I don't believe you.
I don't do it for the World Eaters, I do it for the Blood Angels.
Look, I have eaten a lot of chickens in my lifetime, but it's more for the protein, right?
Chicken's
anyway,
good. Nando's.
But none of those were needlessly sacrificed, okay?
That's facts.
Yeah.
So, Angron.
Okay. 415.
He's staying the same. That guy did not need to change.
Apparently not.
But let's be honest, everything else did. So 8 bound, 270 for 6.
40-point decrease. Good.
Exalted 8 pound, 300 for 6.
60-point decrease.
Khorne Berserkers, 200 for 10.
30-point decrease.
Lord of Skulls 480.
Down 45.
Khan the Betrayer is 80.
Down 15.
Lord Invocatus, 140.
Down 15 again.
What else is good? Jackals are good.
What's the Demon Prince?
The Demon Prince is 200.
Okay,
He's
down 20.
Yep.
20. Jackals, they changed?
A little bit, 140. I think they're down like 10.
Down 10. That is pretty significant.
The Terminators are 380.
Terminators, World Eaters, Terminators?
Yeah, I think they're over there.
Oh, there we are. 390.
So 5-point drop.
Yeah.
So on the whole, Lord on Juggernaut isn't bad now at 100 points.
Yeah.
I actually see a bit of play for him because you'd never taken him before. So I think World Eaters, look, you're at 41 right now. I think with these changes, I'd like to see that go up to 43, 44, 44, half of a corn.
Let's go for 44.
I can't see it going up much more than that. I think they probably needed...
The issue is it's a mostly combat army, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're slower in some respects than Blood Angels and other stuff, and they don't have the shooting assets that they can put in there, really.
And also, they only ever get their army-wide rule, +1 strength and +1 attack, in 50% of the turns of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And they only get that in 25% of the phases of the game. So actually, you're only looking at 12.5%.
Yeah.
You only get your army rule.
But if you run a Demon Prince and 300 Jackals, you will win the game.
Let's do it. There we go. Heard it here first from Michael.
Facts.
So, what do we think on the whole? How do we feel? Michael, out of 7, what would you give the balanced 8 and point?
Out of 7?
Yeah.
We should do it out of 8 for Khorne.
No, 7. We always do it out of 7.
Okay. Out of 7.
How accurate and on it do we think this is?
4? 5? 4.5?
Harsh. I was going to give it a 5.
Yeah, okay.
I'd have liked indirect.
Yeah, I think indirect...
I don't like how it stacks with heavy, personally.
Yeah.
But that's me wish listing.
I don't think Eldar have been dealt with.
I don't think Eldar have been internally balanced.
No.
I think we're just going to see the same, and this is why I'm giving it a 5, not a 7.
Yeah.
Is I think Genestealer Cult and Eldar, 2 of the problem armies,
Yeah.
we're just going to see the same things taken.
Yeah.
So we're going to just see stale lists.
Yeah.
Whereas Custodes, although they've had significant increases, they've also had some massive drops on some of the Forge World stuff.
Right.
So it might start making that look a little bit more appealing.
Right.
We might see some more diversity there.
What I do have to be very positive about one thing, though, is GW haven't been afraid to change a lot.
Good.
Like
Devastating
some of these
wounds.
points, Devastating Wounds,
So
like an actual core rule in their main book, an ability that everybody has.
Yeah.
And they have changed it, they've listened.
And I know that that would not have happened lightly. Okay, so I'm really happy about that. I don't like how Death Guard have been given everything under the sun. Massive points increases, huge game-changing abilities. And I will also say that doesn't necessarily play to their play style, but -1 to hit in combat and shooting does create an uninteractiveness in the game.
Yes.
And I don't like uninteractive play. I'd have rather have seen a different effect. Because I think Death Guard could have probably had just the OC and leadership manipulation and gone, hey, let's see, give them some points drops.
Yeah.
Let's see how this one thing does.
Yes.
Rather than picking 3.
Yeah.
And I reckon that might have been cool. It's harder to take objectives off them because then it's a real objective-based attachment.
Yeah.
Sticky objectives, your OC's reduced, your leadership's, they got some good battle shock mechanics. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, people are just going to take -1 weapon skill and ballistic skill. And then you've got that uninteractiveness. And I don't like that. I feel like it's appeasing a community that's been very vocal about... I mean, the community was vocal how bad it was even when nobody had played a game yet.
Yeah.
And they're not performing as bad as some other factions. So anyway, there's my 2 cents on it.
That's fair. But I think they have listened. They have listened.
They have.
Even with Death Guard, they have massively done a bunch of changes.
Yeah.
Which is outside their normal comfort zone, as we've seen with previous balanced data slates.
I'll be honest, you look at, I would say 75-80% of these factions have got much better internal balance now.
Yeah.
And I know they've listened to people's thoughts on points and whatnot. So on the whole Games Workshop, I think you've done a great job. And I'm just 10 out of 10 for even doing it.
Yeah.
Or 7 out of 7 for doing it because it desperately needed to be done. And I know you wouldn't have done it at done it lightly. So thank you so much for doing this. It gives us much hope for the future. I'm excited to play in tournaments again.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my Black Templars on the table. I'm looking forward to playing Jordan tonight. We're going to get a practice game in.
Nice.
I'm excited. Yeah. And for that, I can be internally grateful because that means so much to me, is to be passionate about the game I love so much. So yeah, thank you so much. Right. Any last comments from the chat, Jordan?
Yeah, we've had a couple of super chats. So Fish has just put, points changes for Grey Knights helped, but we still need more punching power. We still have no answer for Imperial and Chaos Knights.
Land Raiders.
Land Raider.
Land Raiders. You get a lot more stuff now. Again, you're not going to get... Don't wish for unit upgrades.
Yeah.
Okay, the faction would have to be performing terribly bad in order to get rules changes. So I think, yeah, we just need to... What they've done, I think is really significant for Grey Knights. So yeah, I think you should be pretty hopeful. Get on the table, and we're going to see less vehicles on the table anyway, because on the whole, is a trend, combat units are slightly down, tougher monsters are up, so there's going to be less monsters out there and tough things to kill anyway. So, yeah.
So I'm going to have to bleep out a little bit here, but Jimmy has said, my boy Khan is 80 points, bashing people everywhere.
Good.
So yeah, he's pretty happy about that.
Loves it.
We've had...
Go sort his chickens out in a minute after this.
We've had James Tactic Tabletop gift 5 Vanguard Tactics memberships.
Legend.
We've also had Admiral Ben Bao has become a VT member as well.
Awesome.
So everyone who has been gifted a membership, remember we've got our live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. British Standard Time.
Yep.
Also, Ian Burke has said, happy about points changes. I get to add more to my White Templars army, so that's a huge plus. Thanks for the content, guys. Love the channel. Thank you for the super chat, mate.
Awesome. Cool.
And we had 897 votes in total on the are we happy with the data slate changes?
Yeah.
70% are in favour for yes, and 30% are in favour for no.
I think on the whole, we all got to be happy.
Yeah, I think the 30% don't like the Death Guard.
Agreed. Yeah. I think you got to think big picture, right? Big picture.
Yeah.
What the poll should have been, we should have done like an out of 7. What are you going to give it? Anyway, but guys, thank you so much. Remember, you've got 2 days left to join the Vanguard Tactics Academy. We'd love you to join us for this next Academy intake. If you have any questions, you can email us, Stephen@vanguardtactics.com, Mike@vanguardtactics.com. Email us, ask us any questions you have. Become a member if you want more members-related content. And if you are coming to the London Grand Tournament and you would like to attend our in-person, which doesn't happen very often, workshop, I mean, it literally happens once a year in the UK.
Yeah.
So if you want to come to that, get tickets. Tickets are available on our website, www.vanguardtactics.com. Go to events, you'll see the workshop there. That will take you to the checkout to buy and seal the details for the London Grand Tournament workshop. It's the day before the London Grand Tournament. And we've got the Masterclass as well for Tyranids. Link is below, you can get 20% off and also be first come, first serve on that. We've also got some prizes to give away for anybody that signs up because they're on the waiting list for that. There's no requirement to buy though, it's just a gauge of interest for it. And you will get 20% off that little mini course. So guys, thank you so much. If you've liked it, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that bell icon so you get notified when we go live and release videos. Thank you so much for all your support last night as well when we ran the worst stream in history. We've kept it just for the comedy value for now. It probably will remove tomorrow because it was dreadful. Everything just went badly. Hopefully today's been great. Seb, you've done an awesome job on cameras. I can't see it, but I'm just assuming you have. Jordan, thanks for being you.
Thanks, mate.
So
kind.
Hands in.
Hands in.
Hands in.
2, 3, VT. Oh, Mike, that was lame.
That was pretty pathetic, Mike.
Yeah.
Because Jordan was involved.
Yeah, but Michael.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me on this show.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you all at home for your super chats, your gifted memberships, everything else. And we'll see you very soon for another live stream. I don't know, I've got this pen in my hand. Game, whatever. We love you. Take care and keep playing 40k. That is the most important thing. See you later.